easy, and I can take it. It's not a 3D. Yes, it's still got some bulk to it, but I'm not gonna haul a console around.
See, I finally gave up and started hauling a console.
What do I look? What do I look like, Adam?
Yeah, nerd. No, that was the thing. Like, my PS4, I had to talk myself out of bringing it on this trip because I'm so addicted to Metal Gear right now. And it was like, if I bring it, I'll get. I'm sorry. If I bring, I don't mean to humble brag. If I bring it, I know I'll get no work done. You know what I mean? Like, I would just sit there and play it.
Yeah, I can't wait for 3 days from now.
Oh man, wait till you're 62 hours in like me, Gus.
Are you 62 hours in?
62 hours in. Yeah.
How much have you been playing like every day?
Well, I went to the review event, so I played Monday through Friday all day, every day, and the last 3 days were 10 a.m. to midnight.
Good Lord.
And all I want is more.
How long? I don't know, like what kind of NDA you have.
Have you
on that,
weaponized the horse poop yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How long did the campaign take you? Like
30 hours. I rolled credit on story in quotes. 30 hours in, and then there was more threads. You know how Metal Gear games are. There's more stories to go get and finish or whatever. But the campaign you'd think of like start to finish. Here's the story of the game.
So I'm really bummed. Like I love the Metal Gear universe. I'm super excited for 5. I never played Peace Walker.
You son of a.
And then like so then now all of the buzz around 5 was, oh, you better know Peace Walker's. Like, fuck.
How did Ground Zeroes leave you? Were you lost?
I was lost. I tried to do some homework before I played Ground Zero, so I did some reading. Played Ground Zeroes. I think I was okay, and now leading up to the launch of 5, I've been going back and like rewatching playthroughs of Peace Walker.
Here's the thing, I'm the guy who's like, you know, Peace Walker's my favorite game of all time, and I was saying after I played it at the preview event that this really is Peace Walker 2, whatever HD. When I say
no, I've picked Raynar. No, oh, I can't believe this. Oh,
I think Ground
is
Zero
bad.
is the one that really was like, here's Chico and here's Paz and this is how it all ties. In this one, that's less of a thing. Now it's though like, oh, you're full-ditting people out and building out Mother Base and making struts and like that gameplay is Peace Walker. But you can jump in and not have ever done that and get your head around this.
Still, I feel like with all of those Metal Gear games, all of the Kojima Metal Gear games, it's like you better know that story. You better know that character that was on screen in one scene 2 games ago. He's coming back.
Yeah. No, I feel like this is the Metal Gear that I feel like, and Peace Walker was also that Metal Gear where I was like, this is the one you can play and not know anything. This one, it would help to know Peace Walker, but it isn't the end of the world or anything like that.
Yeah, I've also been watching like people doing like YouTube videos like I'm gonna sum up the Metal Gear universe for you in 15 minutes. And it's like very quick.
Hallelujah though, and then there's this, and then there's 3 snakes, but they're clones, but there's this. Yeah.
I've tried to look at those synopses because I didn't play the older Metal Gear games, and just trying to figure out like just to get to a starting point is, oh my god, it's so convoluted. There's so much, and you have to know all of it because everything matters.
Yeah. I feel like Peace Walker would help you.
Okay.
But in terms of like just framing. But if you've already gone through Ground Zeroes and you did research for that, you should be fine going forward.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to make sure that I was an educated gamer going into the game. Especially if, like you said, like campaign takes 30 hours and you keep playing all this other amount of time.
Right.
I'm clearing my schedule, my gaming schedule for a while.
So good, Gus.
So that's like the next big game I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, like looking towards the fall, you know, I'm really excited about Halo 5, Fallout 4. I mean, there's just like so many.
Fallout 4,
This is going to be such a good holiday.
Yeah.
We're not going to have any time to do anything.
No.
I think I need to take some time off of work when Fallout 4 comes off.
Yeah.
Just be like, I'm going to spend like 2 weeks.
How many people do you think are going to suddenly get very ill?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone will.
Oh, speaking of, there's a Cuphead cosplayer walking by over there.
Oh, look at that.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, so I played the hell out of Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. I mean, even the older games, when Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 came out, I played those. I really love that universe.
That's a great universe, yeah. And like that's the thing of like, you look at Fallout 4 and you're like, it's more of what we all love in terms of this voice acting and now like craft and do all this other shit. You're like, oh my god, we're
I was so relieved. Remember right before E3, there was the trailer and it was voiced, and everyone got really worried that it was a male protagonist, and that's what it is, because it's voice. You can't have a
They
voice
wouldn't record
character.
500
And-
hours of 2 people.
Right, and then it turns out that they
Yeah,
did.
it's
I
awesome.
was so relieved because I don't want to play a dude. No offense.
No, I play girls all the time. That's what I play.
Yeah.
That's what I'd want to play in this.
That's I think Jack does as well.
I was there at the Bethesda E3 conference,
Yeah.
and when they did the part of the presentation where they talked about how the crafting system was modular and how you could get basically anything in the world could be used to then build whatever you wanted, I just put my head in my hands. It's like my life is over.
Yeah,
like
totally.
that is going to be me. Like I already had a problem picking everything up in
Yeah.
those games. Now it's like
Now it all matters.
right now it's like no,
Yeah.
I really need this tin can.
Yeah.
I'm going to build something with it.
Yeah.
I had the moment of that a little bit earlier today. We were having, I'm talking to one of the developers for XCOM 2, and he was showing us there's this gameplay showing us how you can customize how every single one of your soldiers looks, like what they wear, all that sort of stuff. Take that character creation element of an RPG, it's that level of detail, and that so you can get completely obsessive about it.
And then they die on the next mission.
Right, but it's hundreds of them or thousands, and then they die, and then just they're gone. That's it.
That's crazy, because that was always the last XCOM, right? It was the thing of like, I'll name them after all my friends, and then one of them dies, like, all right, reload the save. I gotta save Ryan.
Yeah.
I don't care about this person, but Ryan's gotta live.
There were a lot of weird conversations when that game came out. Someone being like, "Yeah, no, you died." What?
Yeah.
What?
So I had a weird thing where when I played the last XCOM, I named most of my squad after my friends, but then there was just like one random person who I left. Like she kept her default name, but she is the character who didn't die.
Yeah, of course.
It's like all my friends
All
died,
your
but like
friends died.
her, like at the end of the game, she was like super soldier. Like
You weren't pulling any punches with her.
yeah, she was like she grew up hard, like on the street. She was like shooting aliens from across the map. I was like,
She's the one you sent into battle. She had to learn to live and survive.
yeah, she was my red shirt, but she refused to succumb to death.
Impressive.
But I love those games. I love XCOM. Excited about XCOM 2. They just delayed it a little bit.
Yeah, so it's going to be coming out in February instead. We asked about that in the demo a little bit earlier too. It's because it's a 3-month push, but it's basically for polishing.
Oh, okay.
So
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah, that's a good
right, I'll take
Take
it.
your time.
My birthday's in February. Thank you, 2K. Thank you, XCOM 2, for coming out for my birthday.
Yeah, well, thank you for just clearing out of holiday because we're already going to
Get some
die.
stuff out there.
So that way we'll have like a nice little February present.
I love those tactical turn-based combat systems.
Yeah.
Like they use in XCOM, which is why I love Shadowrun so much. Which is why I'm playing Dragonfall.
Did you play Massive Chalice?
I loved Massive Chalice.
Chalice is so good.
Massive
That
Chalice
was one of
also-
our recent Game Club games.
It was one of our recent ones. The Massive Chalice encourages strange behaviors in player.
Yeah.
Because
like
you'll be
the
like,
breeding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
marrying people off.
you're like,
Human husbandry.
yeah, you too. Make me some daughters.
I like your attributes. Go
Yeah.
together.
But one of the things I really liked about Massive Chalice was some of the unusual enemies, like the enemy who will hit you and age your characters.
Yeah.
Like it really incents you
Yeah,
to
they
like
use time as like both a pro and a con, which is great.
right, but it really encouraged you to like take a mixture of melee and ranged characters. That was
Right.
like, oh, you see those, you pull your melee back and try to attack from range, which is really really fun.
Yeah, actually using those strategic elements, right? Which you think should be done in a strategic turn-based game.
You think so? But I love planning out how I'm gonna move my people and
Yeah.
setting all that stuff up. It was a fun game.
Are you guys excited for Mario Maker?
I am.
Yeah.
I liked it. There was the video of it was a bot created level or like a something creating a level
Okay.
automatically. That looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've had to explain to a bunch of people what Mario Maker is because no one can figure out why it should be like a thing. And I'm like, no, you don't like it's Mario, and then you make the levels, and then they're like, cool. I guess no, you don't understand. It's Mario. You can make up the levels.
Make it.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Roll your own Mario.
That until I'll be Metal Gear, and then that'll come around, and maybe I'll be off the Metal Gear junk by then. Just
That's-
switch over.
That's coming out soon, isn't it? Mario Maker?
September 11th, or if you talk to Nintendo, 11th of September.
There you go.
Oh, Europe. Well, oh, world.
Yeah. Oh, everybody but us.
Yeah, Mario Maker and Yoshi's Woolly World, I think, are the two big Wii U games I'm excited about.
Sure.
I bought a Wii U simply for Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker,
Such a good game.
which was an awesome game. I love it. So, and I don't think I've really played it too much since then. I played Splatoon. I love Splatoon.
Yeah.
That was it really took me by surprise. Really awesome game, and I'm excited to get reintroduced to my Wii U with Mario Maker and Yoshi's Woolly World.
Exactly, have a reason to turn it on.
Yeah. Yay, this game's for it.
Yeah.
Because at this point, it's just basically a virtual console conduit for
Yep,
me.
yep.
It's like, oh, I want to play Super Metroid. Cool. There we are.
I love when you turn on the Wii U to go into Wii mode to play your old virtual console games. Like, seems interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another example too of this being like a really nice time for indie games. In addition to PlayStation going really hard with them, Nintendo is trying really hard to get a lot of indie people. Man, indie games, like developers got it good right now, right?
Oh, they have it great right now.
Maybe just like, you know, the Xbox One needs a little bit of work.
Yeah, they're figuring it out. But that's the thing. It feels like, you know, that middle tier of games fell away. THQ fell away, so we were left with AAAs and indies. And AAAs don't come out all that often, whereas the indies can, you know, have a thing where they thrive. These teams of 10 putting out games they believe in, getting them to go with. It's great.
Yeah. What else? So like up there where, you know, like I said, Party Heart's on the 6th floor.
Yeah.
I think their publisher is Tiny Build. And if you go to,
Yeah, that's right.
and if you go to the Tiny Build booth for Party Hard, it's like every single game you see around there, it's like, that's really fun. That's really fun.
I met the Tiny Build guys at E3. We came in, we both had a few, and they came over like, we're huge fans. Like, oh, it's awesome. They gave me their card. And the next morning, I all blurry-eyed went, and they're like, let us know if you want any of the games. And I went on their website, and I emailed them like, all of your games look awesome. Like, it sounds like I'm being like, like chummy, but it's like, everything you make is really cool. Like, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with Tiny Build until I went up there and walked through their booths when we were setting up. I was like, every one of these games in here is awesome.
Yeah.
So everyone who's here in the audience, go check out that booth. It's up on the 6th floor.
You said everyone who's here in the audience, and he waved.
Yeah.
He's in the audience.
And
He knows where he is.
they can also check out the Rooster Teeth booth, which is.
I see where you're going. Have you gone to the Indie Mega booth?
I've not gone. I've not been over to the North Side Hall yet.
You got to go and you got to see That Dragon Cancer.
What?
I've
That
heard of
Dragon
that game.
Cancer. I hadn't. I don't know how I missed it, but it's a game about your 1-year-old son being diagnosed with cancer.
That sounds uplifting.
No, it definitely is not, for sure. But it looks awesome, and like you change perspective of all these different family members and play through it. And the way he described it to me, which immediately sold me on it, right, was that it was a narrative like Gone Home, but it's on rails. So you're not like moving around exploring, but you're in these situations, and you're listening to the doctor talk to you, and things are changing, and you move around, and it sounds rad, like totally depressing, but like, as you know, cancer survivor, I immediately connected with it, let alone being a Gone Home narrative fan that way, that I want to see part of it.
Yeah.
This game's a lot, and really nice art style too.
Cool.
So would you describe it more as like an interactive
Yeah,
novel?
it seems like it. Yeah, it was one of those where there was kids already playing it. I don't want to be like, oh, I break. Like, I was already like,
Get out of here, kid.
Can I get a demo? Can I do whatever? So I was like, that's what it looks like. Yeah, so far. It's like, yeah, you played the story. Sounds great.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have not made a chance to get over to the Sky Bridge to the other side of the hall. I really want to check it out.
Yeah,
I've
this one
just-
is huge. It's like PAX has become a maze. You were first PAX?
No.
Okay. I was first PAX, you were first PAX.
I was.
And it's weird to see it grow from like that one room, the one little tiny, like this booth is the size of the expo floor.
Yeah, like that
First
Oculus
year at
booth
the-
would not
at
have
the
been.
Maiden Bower. You know, nothing, like this whole thing was just this tiny little event of people loving games and lots of beanbag chairs and balls.
Lots of
Balls?
balls.
So many blue balls.
In fact, that's where I first met Ashley, was at the first PAX. That's the first time
You're like, never talk to this girl again.
Man, what a waste of time. Here we are 11 years later, still talking about PAX.
Yeah, it's grown so much so that now there's like there's this expo floor, there's another expo floor that's like through a hallway or something. There's
It sprawls out into the hotels.
this is going like up and down like 6 levels.
Then there's also the annex across the street where all the Magic the Gathering stuff is set up.
It's impressive. It's crazy. It's cool that it still proliferates the way it does, right? Like PAX for me, I always described it. You know, I went to Catholic school growing up, and I remember people talked about things like a cup, where when you're a little kid, the cup's small, so it's easy to fill your face, and then as you get bigger, the cup gets bigger, so like it's constantly in flux. Whereas like when you're on the internet and everyone's talking crap to you and telling you off, you're like, oh man, people suck, and and then you come to PAX and you realize that all the trolls on the internet
this event is just like that vibe. It's people who just come here to love gaming.
Yep.
It's all, in all its forms. If it's, whether it's board games and tabletop or video games or just cosplay, there's all kinds of stuff here.
Yeah, I wish when I was younger, like I wish when I was in middle school and high school that there were big events like this that I could have gone to. It would have really helped inspire me.
It was isolating, right? Like I was the video game fan in my group of friends. They all liked video games, but nobody loved games. So then I remember when the internet finally came around, and you'd go on AOL chat rooms and find other people, and it was like amazing to have that connection. I can't imagine, you know, the things we see in our own community of people who meet in our Twitch chat and then share hotel rooms and go to PAX to see each other. It's awesome.
I sometimes wonder if I had internet when I was very young and started gaming, if I still would. At the time, I grew up in a really rural area. It was like dairy farms, and I didn't really know, like there weren't a lot of other people around.
Yeah.
So I played video games because we had a console. I thought they were really fun, and I didn't know that at the time, at least, that a lot of girls didn't do that.
Yeah.
And by the time I found that, I was way too late. And then I was like, I'm gonna impress all the boys in my computer lab by like installing Homeworld. Yeah, they were.
They're like, fake gamer girl, get out of here.
No, they were playing StarCraft. They didn't give a shit. But I just wonder if I'd discovered that wasn't a thing that a lot of girls did then, if I would have kept with it, or I would have gone and tried to do something else. I was a weird kid. You always want people to like you, but you have no idea how to talk to anybody. That was me. Yeah.
We all know that well.
Yeah, even now there's a spotlight on me, and I'm having to talk.
But now that's your shtick.
Yeah.
Oh, Gus, he's a little awkward. It's great.
Yeah.
He says funny things. They put it on t-shirts.
He gets mad.
I can't get no respect. Yeah. So I was talking about that the other day. I said, I wonder if enough time has passed where I could just be rehashing old Rodney Dangerfield material and nobody would know it.
There's like one person and everyone's like, shut up, bitch.
Yeah, and like just claim it. Like go back and take old comedian bits and just use them now for a new audience.
Oh, you can totally do that. Like 100%. Just use all, like, if it's like 20 years old, you just pretend that it's all new again.
So I can start using Sam Kinnison's yell. All right, great.
Yeah. That's you now. That's Greg Miller.
So you guys can make a movie about, what is it? Ladybugs?
Yeah, Ladybugs.
The movie with
Where
the
he's a
soccer player?
talker.
Yeah.
Back to School first. Thank you. Shout out to Back to School. Great movie. The Triple Lindy.
And there's things are getting made that were 20 years old, so it's like perfect time.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to bring back every 20-year-old franchise. Why not Rodney Dangerfield?
Everything old is new again, yeah.
Yeah, just recycling it.
Anytime I just feel old again.
One of the other games I want to talk about was actually right over here. It's Gigantic. I don't know if you ever had a chance to play it.
What is it? Tell me about it.
It's a MOBA style game.
I'm out.
No, it's really good. So like I'm normally not a big MOBA player. Like I've tried League, I've tried Dota. They don't really grab me. The one that really introduced me into the genre was Smite. Because it moves the camera down to like third person.
Yeah.
And if you play on the PC, it's like WASD controls. It's like, okay, it moves more like an FPS.
It does. It feels a little bit different. It's just the perspective gives it a different feel.
So
it's almost more familiar.
Smite was kind of a gateway drug, and now I'm big into Heroes of the Storm. I play Heroes of the Storm constantly. So I've had a couple of chances to play Gigantic, which is a little different of a spin on a MOBA. It's like 5v5 combat, and normally, you're trying to attack each other's guardians or bases. In that game, the guardian moves and actually attacks and fights. So you have to kind of be a little more fluid in your gameplay and in your approach.
All right, cool.
It's really fun. They're huge too. It's another example, like you talk about Octopus getting big. Like I think Gigantic was here last year, and they had a big booth then, but it was a lot smaller. And now that's massive. That's really impressive to see the size of that booth.
Yeah, I think I saw it PAX East earlier this year. I think we saw it was like this first girl present, and it was just this like nice tiny little corner. Is the like 4, maybe 8 gameplay stations, and that was about it. And now it's huge.
Yeah.
They got a castle.
It's gigantic.
So MOBAs are the new MMO, right? That's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Seems like it. Well, I feel like you're even starting to see the MOBA influence on FPS is that Titanfall had the AI control players who you would go in, or the NPCs who you would have to kill. Halo 5 has Warzone, which has AI controlled enemies on the map with high value targets that you have to attack. So I think other genres are now trying to pull in elements from MOBAs, because that's what's really popular right now. And I really like that. Like with Titanfall, I'm not a great FPS player, but it was like, I can help the team by killing the NPCs.
Totally, that was me in Titanfall too. So I'm not a first-person shooter guy, but Titanfall was so cool that I actually had Alfredo bring me, get me to mediocre status. And when I was there, I was able to compete, right? Because I was good at certain tasks. I was taking guys out of runs or shotgunning regular humans when I ran through the game and stuff. Like, yeah, that teamwork element.
The first time I played that game, I didn't realize they were all NPCs, and I was like, I'm so good. I'm doing
All these
awesome.
defense guys suck.
I was like, yeah, I'm killing everybody. And then, like, the first time an actual player came along, I was dead.
Yeah, of course.
I was dead, and I was like, oh.
Oh, I get it.
Because humans are better.
Another winning streak shattered.
That hero must be taken out, and soon. The crusade calls. Halt!
None shall evade my wrath.
Very well. Excellent. Yes. Crusade calls. I go. Over here.
Gathers within the shrine. It will be made to serve us. Loose the Punisher, heroes. Let him tear our foes apart.
Seems right.
Our foe has summoned a mortar Punisher.
Why not?
Our fort is lost.
Akarat wills it.
Fear not, mortal. Evil always bounds. Anytime you're ready.
Fight time!
I hear the call.
The crusade calls.
It's like, oh, I want to play Super Metroid. Cool. There we are.
I love when you turn on the Wii U to go into Wii mode to play your old virtual console games. Like, seems interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another example too of this being like a really nice time for indie games. In addition to PlayStation going really hard with them, Nintendo is trying really hard to get that scene. Man, indie games.
Anytime you're ready. My hatred is unending.
Anyone order a one-man wrecking crew?
Glory to the Horde.
Victory for the Forsaken! I'm here to help!
Ready to roll out.
Reckoning is at hand.
Ready for adventure!
this land.
Okie dokie.
righteousness. Let the burning hells atone for their sins.
That was a good game. Just gonna check my stats when they decide to come up. Good.
Though probably. Jack is 0-5-4 now.
Tied.
It's
We're
close.
tied.
We got 7 seconds.
Oh.
6 seconds.
No, he
5
beat up
seconds.
on the AI
7 to 4. Come on, Funhouse, get your crap together. You got 2 seconds. 1 second. Oh my God.
Oh no! Oh, Demon Hunter wins again!
Wait, well, hold on.
Yeah.
The first round should not have gone to you.
Wins again.
Adam committed suicide over and
Oh
over.
my God. The excitement. And I'm not sure if they budgeted for that amount of time. I don't know if we have to do 3 rounds. Because the rounds are 4 minutes long. Probably the reason why they selected the game. 4-minute rounds. Easy to budget on a spreadsheet.
That's actually the name of the game.
All right, well, let's do this.
What are we gonna do?
The winner of the final round gets 3 points. So the winner of the final round is the team that actually wins.
All right, so winner take all.
The winner take all.
We want to nominate one person from our team to play. One person.
Blaine's doing this.
Funhouse wants to bring.
Blaine's
No,
making
it's
this to
over.
kill.
No, Blaine killed it. Apparently, Blaine wins around Blaine. Yeah.
Blaine wins.
All right, Blaine, who are we kicking it to? Barbara, and there's a fucking another Joel?
Yeah. There's another one of you.
The fuck? All right, well, I kick it over to myself and Barbara.
First I was there, now I am here.
That was a great transition.
Thank you very much. What are we doing over here?
We're announcing a giveaway that we're going to be doing.
Okay.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah, it's very exciting.
So, do you have a Fitbit or anything similar to that?
I have an accelerometer in my phone,
Well,
but I don't
someone-
have a heart monitor or anything like that, no.
So, Razer just announced this brand new device. It's called the Naboo Smart Band. It's similar to a Fitbit. It's like a fitness tracker. We're going to be doing 5 of these. We're going to be giving away 5 of these, and all you have to do is tweet a zombie-themed haiku.
Huh.
Tweet a zombie-themed haiku. And
You guys know what a haiku is?
Do you want to explain what a haiku
He's
is?
right. It's an ancient Japanese type of poetry wherein there are 3 lines comprised of 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and then once again we return to 5 syllables.
So yeah, it's a poem with 5, 7, 5.
Doesn't have to rhyme.
Doesn't have to rhyme, just has to be a haiku.
Yep.
And it has to be zombie themed. And so if you could do that and tweet it using the hashtag #LiveSmarter and hashtag RTPAX.
It's us.
Victory for the Forsaken.
Balloon, grant us strength.
Yeah, we're going to be picking 5 winners at the end of the day to get a brand new Naboo Smart Band. And this thing's really cool. It actually does band-to-band communication. You could see your fitness levels. You could check your heart rate and share that with other people.
And the good thing about this giveaway is that although you can be in the audience here, you can also be watching at home and tweeting from home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, tweet from home, tweet from the audience, whatever you want to do. We're going to be giving away 5 of these, so you have a bigger chance to win.
Yeah, you can monitor steps and things, I assume.
I don't monitor anything that I do.
Nothing?
Maybe I should. Maybe it'd help me be in better shape or something.
That's a real YOLO lifestyle you live, Barbara.
Is it?
I suppose so.
I just eat burgers and then I walk upstairs and it balances out.
The Seattle way, they call that. What do you think about that last game there?
What was that game that you guys were playing?
It was Brawlhalla.
Brawlhalla.
And we were 6 people on one controller, and Jack was on his own controller. And quite frankly, I thought we did stunningly well. We didn't end up negative. We beat him for the most part, constantly.
Who was the winner? Was it
Blaine.
Was it
Blaine was the winner, I think,
Blaine?
because he cut the
You won. You
He's
won Brawlhalla.
beautiful.
Congratulations. He's telling us to stretch this out. So, was there a winner? Was it Jack?
Jack won both times, and then Blaine cut us off. But I think fundamentally we did a heck of a job. You know.
I think so too.
That's the biggest pussy remark I've ever heard from you, Joel.
Whoa.
We did a good job. We didn't win.
I say we did a heck of a job.
That's even worse.
Considering the obstacles that were in front of us, we are kicking it over to Ashley and Gus now. I don't know. Kick it over to Ashley and Gus.
Such a sore loser. I think you guys did great. Jack
Thanks,
did
Barbara.
great, but I'm a little biased towards Achievement Hunter because, you know, they're in the same building as us. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much. Remember to tweet using Live Smarter and RTPax. Kicking it over.
Okay. Thanks,
Hello.
Barbara. You did a heck of a job.
So we're here. We're back on stage. We're gonna be talking about Battleborn for a bit.
Yes, we've got Randy Varnell, the creative director, on working on Battleborn.
That's right.
For Gearbox.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming.
I thank you for having me here, Ashley. It's great. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so first of all, for those who may not know about the game, can you just give us an overview? We're going to see some cool new stuff that you've just shown for, I think, the first time or just very newly at this show.
Very newly at
But
this
just
show,
top line, and then we'll take down.
You know, Battleborn is really a builder side-scrolling game that, no.
I was going to say, whoa.
I was like, oh shit,
You know, we've talked a lot about it, and there have been a lot of questions about what is Battleborn. You know, at the heart of it, Battleborn is a first-person shooter. But the other part of the DNA that we're really excited about, especially coming off of Borderlands with Gearbox and really falling in love with making characters and enemies and worlds and all of that, Battleborn is a very character-centric game. So at retail launch, we're going to have 25 playable characters, all different. We have a mix of range characters, we have a melee characters, so you've got guns, we've got swords, we've got
Do you have
magic.
any archer thieves? Because that's what whenever I go to make a character in a game, that's inevitably what I end up with.
Absolutely. We've got archers.
Yeah.
We have some stealth assassins in there that'll come along. So
like it.
Yeah, but it's a first-person shooter. We've got cooperative and competitive modes. You can play single player through the story of the game, up to 5-player co-op. And in the competitive, you can play 5v5 competitive modes, several different competitive modes to have fun. So we're looking here, I think, at the map of the universe. Battleborn is set in this awesome sci-fi universe where there's one star left in the entire universe. And use the Battleborn are heroes who are fighting against this kind of dark invader from the unknown to save that last star. So we're going to see if we can pull that off.
They're trying to destroy our star?
Yeah, they've destroyed all the stars before it, and there's one left. It's not even our star. This is super far in the future in the sci-fi universe.
They've been really busy. There's a lot of
very.
stars.
What dicks?
Yeah.
So one of the things that this game has that is kind of unique in the genre is that it has a very heavy focus on co-op as well.
That's right.
It's not just competitive.
Sure. You know, with Borderlands, we have at Gearbox, we had a game that was very, very co-op play, had a huge story, had a lot of play hours. So we came to Battleborn. We wanted to bring that back into the game again, but we wanted to do it in a little bit different way. You know, we wanted to mix up the shooter formula a little bit, do something a little bit more active, and we certainly have a competitive aspect and have to think about that balance. But we love co-op gameplay. We love
there's
stories.
the giant sword.
And there's your archer, Thorn, running
there's
there in
the
front.
archer,
Right.
he's got a gun, and then the dude off to your right's got a huge sword.
So and the mushroom, that's Miko. So you're playing right now as Oscar Mike, who's a pretty comfortable character. If you can jump in, you played shooter games, he's going to be very comfortable, assault rifle and all of that. But the team we've got going on here shows off a good mix of who we have. So you got Oscar Mike, you've got the big guy you'll see occasionally, Montana, which is our minigun guy if you like that. Thorn, very much sniper play. She's kind of she's an elf, she's a ranger. She jumps around, high mobility and all of that. Wrath actually dual wields swords. So what's cool is even though we're kind of a first-person shooter game, if you like action games like Zelda or things, you like to get into swords and mix it up close with melee combos and all of that, Our melee characters like Wrath, the swordsman there, are really good at that. Get in and really change up the gameplay.
Yeah, so it's very sci-fi focused, but it seems like there's a heavy element of fantasy as well.
I like to call it space fantasy. You know, you kind of mix it up. You look at movies like Guardians of the Galaxy or Star Wars and all of that, where you start to mix all of those different types together. And that's really the universe we put here. I mean, here's a great example. You've got a spaceship flying into the silhouette of a dragon skeleton in the background on this frozen planet Bliss. And we're playing one of our new characters right here, Phoebe, who's a part of this kind of steampunky tech faction called the Lapslight Consortium. And they're all about warmongering and kind of Victorian dress. So she's got this great hoop skirt and these floating swords around her. Oh, she's cool. This is a Rindy, the Chaos Witch. And what's awesome is it shows out some of the creative things we're doing here in first person. She's actually got 4 arms. And she's doing those shadow bolts and magic. And occasionally you'll see her do some bigger spells, like there goes her Shadow Pillar. Just the devastating enemies on the battlefield.
You know, one of the more impressive abilities that she has is that she made Gus smile.
No, the reason I smiled is I like seeing things like this, where you know, lots of times we contextualize a world or we contextualize a game based on our experience, which is 2 arms. And you know, this set POV, I'm really intrigued by the fact that there's a character with 4 arms. It's like, okay, maybe it's something a little different, something we're not quite used to. Right. You're looking through, you know, literally looking through a different set of eyes to experience the world.
Well, that's
dual wielding is so last gen.
Yeah, whatever.
Quad wielding.
Quad wielding, right? Well, every character has been kind of a labor of love for us. I mean, you saw Borderlands, and you fall in love with those characters. Every character here, we put a lot of effort. We like to say that they could be a main character in their own game. Yes. But instead, we made 25 characters and put them in one game. So there's so much stuff to explore here.
It must be really challenging with 25 characters to balance the way that all of them play and make sure that each of them brings something unique to the game and a different perspective and a different way to play it.
Yeah, they're all unique. We certainly have kind of archetypes that you would expect in any kind of team-based game. You know, your attacking characters, your defensive, your support characters. But every character is unique. It plays a little bit differently. So we spend a lot of time at Gearbox. We play every day a couple of games and do a lot. I've done that for a couple of years now with this game in some form. And are doing a lot to look at. We know we're not going to get it right at launch either. So I'm really excited. February 9th when the game releases, getting it out to the community, talking to them, getting their hands on it, listening to what works and what doesn't, and, you know, being sure that we support the game, especially in competitive at live, because we know how important that is for the competitive play of these games.
Did you say February 9th?
February 9th is the release date for Battleborn. So that's another new thing that's gone out recently. But we just announced yesterday too. There's a rsvp.battleborn.com where you can go and sign up right now for our closed technical test. It's going to be the first hands-on for a lot of users for the game. You can sign up right now and get into that, and that'll be the first chance to get in and play it for a lot of.
Is the technical test for PC users?
PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So all the consoles that will ship on, and PC.
And then you'll be using that data for a lot of the balancing and the final tweaking and all that sort of stuff. So it will get used.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of people get like a little worried sometimes that betas are the new demo. So it's nice when you know that it's going to affect the final game.
It's one of the reasons for this one specifically we call it a technical test. I mean, technically, a lot of people are like, it's my first time to look at the game, and we're excited about that too. But really, this one, we want to be sure that, you know, on a multiplayer game where the servers are really important, the stability is really important, the data and balance are really important. And we get that out to users and really show that we've not done this for a while as Gearbox. You know, Borderlands did some cool things with matchmaking and finding players and all that. This is kind of a new territory for us, and we spent a lot of time and effort and worked with some good partners on this. We've got some stuff to learn, some stuff to balance. Can't wait to work with the community to do that.
And a lot of times you can't tell until you put scale on it, until you get thousands of people looking at it. That's a totally different ballpark.
That's right.
And you know, visually too, I see a lot of the resemblance to Borderlands just in terms of color. Like we keep seeing a bunch of different locations and different types of maps, and they're so colorful. This isn't like browns. This is like just super colorful.
You say that, and we're on a screen with a bunch of browns right there.
Look, I'll take like when there's like one brown, but there's like the
pinks,
a green,
the
blues, and like all these crazy colors constantly.
That's very intentional. We knew when we, you know, in a kind of an expressive universe, we kind of can't help ourselves. I mean, since Borderlands, we kind of like to play with it, but it has some real gameplay implications. When you're making a lot of different characters and enemies, being able to exaggerate their styles a little bit and bring out the colors and bring out the motion, their attacks and all that, helps you to visually identify them, even as they animate and run across the screen. I mean, I'm looking at it right now and I'm already thinking, I'm going to build this way, I'm going to do that, I'm going to go over here so I can hit this character, I've got to use that ability on this guy. And And there's a lot of that baked into the game from the very beginning, and all of the way we've thought about that and carefully designed the game to present that, but a lot of variety.
It's a great style because I felt like for a long time when, for example, Gears of War first came on the Xbox 360, everybody wanted to have that dark, that gray palette and very
pretty and war-torn and all that.
And now I'm really happy to see a return to more colorful palettes and stuff that's, it doesn't have to look serious to look cool.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we're going. I mean, if you talk to our art director, Scott Kester, he would say, we're trying to hit somewhere between anime and Pixar. Not so far in the safe edges of Pixar, and maybe not so grim and dismal and bloody as some of the anime can get. We found that magic sweet spot in the middle and then kind of let your imagination move in there. And that's really where we're trying to go. And I think we've got something that we love. I sit and watch our game played at the booth, and it's surreal, to watch it. But it's so much fun and to watch how people experience engaging with characters in the world.
So in this, you said there are 25 characters. You haven't announced all of them.
Oh, not all of them yet. We're on. I've lost count right now because I go back to work and I'm still working at all 25 feverishly to try to get it out with the team. But I think we're at like 11 or 12 right now, so we've got another 15, 16, 17 characters to talk about. And let me tell you, the ones you're seeing right now are probably the tamest of the bunch. They get wilder and wilder as we get to the last part of that roster.
When the technical test comes out, is it just going to be with a limited scope of characters?
Yeah, I think we're gonna. I don't quote me on this. I think I'm talking to a lot of people, but no one quote me on this.
Just in confidence here.
Right, just in confidence.
This is just our little secret.
I think we're going to be around 13 or 15 characters like that. We're trying to be sure that they hit a certain degree of polish to get them out. But somewhere around that, a few more characters than what we've announced right now, and then that gives us a good set of characters still to dream about up until that February 9th day where everybody will get a chance to get to all the characters.
Cool. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about the release date. My birthday's in February, so I feel like it's like a birthday present you're giving me. So happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday,
I get to play Battleborn.
I was going to say, because it's not like someone's going to give it to you for your birthday. You're not going to wait. You're just going to get it.
I'll have it pre-ordered on my Xbox One. Awesome. It'll just be downloaded and ready for me. So, so you said the sign-ups going on for the technical test right now. Do you all have a time frame for when you're going to be launching the test, or is that still at some point in the future?
Yeah, it's a little up in the air, of course. To get it on the consoles, which has been really important for us. We have to go through the certification process and all that business, all the boring stuff that no one wants to hear. But hopefully in the next couple of months is when that's going to land and all that. We're doing the sign-ups right now. There should be a good ramp up for that. So it'll definitely be in the next couple of months, next 2 or 3 months, we'll see that lands. But I can't wait to get people in here and to hear the feedback on the game.
I know it's probably not going to happen, but is there going to be any cross-platform play, like between different consoles and PC?
That's a good question. Probably not at the beginning. It's always difficult, especially when you start on competitive, giving controller players versus mouse and keyboard players. It's always hard to be sure the balance is right. This game, because we mix melee and range, melee characters play a little bit more of a tactical positional game. So, you can mix it up a little bit, but there's some limitations. I don't know. We'll see. I don't have plans that I've announced on that so far, but
sure.
But I love the question. I'm a gamer too, and I would love to see that happen at some point.
Yeah, that's because I always split my time between consoles and PC, so it'd be cool to see that.
Couch to share, couch to share.
Yeah, we'll carry your progress across.
What's that?
Or even if you can't play at the same time, we can carry your progress across.
Oh, right.
I hate changing platforms and having to build a completely new character.
Yeah.
Like getting to do it all over again. Is there, what kind of progression is there in this?
Well, one of the things we've got going on, so there's several tiers of progression. I know we're kind of close to the end here, so I'll be quick with this. Every time you play a match in Battleborn, you start at level 1, and in that whatever the match length is, you're playing competitive anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. You're going to level up from 1 to 10 in that match, and the next time you come back, you're going to level up again. So we pulled some of the ideas from kind of a fast leveling talent tree in Borderlands and even some MOBAs and stuff like that, and that to really let you experience almost that experience of building a character new every time. One of my favorite parts about RPGs is generating the character and dreaming, what am I going to do this time? And you get to do that every time. We do have specific growth in outside the match, both on the character and the account level. As you play up a character, we call them character ranks. You rank up your character and you're going to unlock several things. You get some aesthetic things, some skins, some new taunts and animation stats, but also some new bits of gameplay that you're going to be able to sprinkle into your characters and give you some alternate ways to build out your character to handle different situations and different play styles. We also have a big account rank, so if you're one of those people who are like, I got the max account rank and all of that, you can do that too, and it'll unlock some other parts of the game and all of that. But a lot of ways to grow, a lot of ways to unlock stuff, but it should be really really cool. I think that's a pretty dig it.
Yeah, it seems like the kind of game that's like perfect for me. Like, there's a few different kinds of games I like, and I like shooters. I like the RPG element. That's one of the things I like about Borderlands. The challenge brings the customization. It's like taking a character, but then kind of molding it to your play style and making it your own. This sounds like there's a lot of that going behind the scenes here. Well,
Yeah, there is.
Even starting with 25 characters, you find one that it seems like you'll be able to find one that plays how you like, and then even to be able to refine it even further down on a fine point.
You know, at Gearbox, we like doing the combination math in Borderlands. You know, there were, I think you said 47 bajillion guns or something like that. There were a lot of guns in Borderlands. And when we start to look at Battleborn into the same lens, you know, between the ways you can customize your character in the match, between the ways you can build out your team, the gear. We actually are going to have loot and gear. We talked a lot about that.
Loot
Art and props. We're going to,
Look at
loot, you say, yeah.
Oh no.
There's going to be some of that too. I think when we started doing the math the other day, we were looking at something like 49 billion different unique combinations of the way you can load out the characters and the teams on that, which I think if you divide that by the population of the Earth, that gives everybody 7 unique builds.
That's the first thing I thought of.
Right. If you've got 7, we'll call it Gus 1, Gus 2, Gus 3, and Ashley 1, Ashley. So we'll do that just for you.
Okay, I'm gonna call dibs on mine. Make sure they're unique around the world. But that's a mind blowing. That's a crazy number. That's so much to build and so much to think about.
And a lot to balance too. So we're very respectful of that. We're ready to engage in that and do that. But it's going to be pure fun. I think gamers in a lot of different places. It's a very approachable game. I would everybody who's here is at PAX, and you guys need to get over to our booth and check it out. We've got some good things going on, and I think when you get the game, it kind of clicks. We talk about a lot of different things, but when you see it and play it, you'll understand what we're doing, and I think it's sheer joy. I've been watching it played all day, and I've got the itch now. I need to get it back over and play a little bit soon.
I haven't walked over to the hall y'all are in yet. I've been so busy over here, but I know as soon as I get some time, I'm gonna head over there.
You've got to come see the big, massive Montana statue, one of our characters. Oh. He's big in game, but I think he's 20 feet tall in person over in the booth, so it's hard to miss him.
Well, I know that at the 2K booth last year, there was the Evolve.
Right.
So like, how does he compare to like the 20-foot tall Goliath?
They could probably go out to dinner together, the whole bro hug thing and all that. All together, we've got actually 5 models of Battleborn out there, and I think all together it's kind of the same general big impact. But Montana is a big dude. He's huge chest and shoulders, tiny head and ankles. So, like you do.
How about his calves? Did he skip leg day?
He did skip leg day. But he's a little slow, but he can certainly absorb the damage.
Cool. And that's just one of the characters that's available.
Right, one of 25, and again, a good defensive character, big damage absorber, minigun.
So you talked about how you have some characters that are more offensive, some that are defensive. Are there also like support characters as well?
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorites, and you'll see again. We've got a model of this out there, and it's in game playable right now. Is a character named Miko. Miko is actually a mushroom. So if you see Miko running around, it's hard to miss.
Yeah, I thought it was a hat.
I thought it was a hat too.
Well, the whole thing's a mushroom, and it's got the little mushroom cap on the top. Miko is a really excellent support player, one of the best healers we have in the roster right now. Now, because we are supporting, single player and cooperative player, all the Battleborn have to be a little bit combat effective. So Miko starts with kunai that generate from its hand and throw it out. But Miko does some other things, has a healing beam can lock on. You're going to recognize some familiar mechanic there. But Miko's big ultimate ability actually unscrews that hat off the top of its head, puts it on the ground, and it sprouts into kind of this mushroom that heals all of the allies around. One of the cool things, you can also add to that if you play the game. You want to be damaged Miko. You can change the ability on that, so not only does it do some healing, but it'll damage enemies in the area as well. So a lot of, again, ways to hybridize and change your characters based on, what kind of challenge you're facing, whether it's cooperative or competitive, but some really cool stuff going on there.
That's really cool. So you talked about, addressing yourself to the challenge. Are you able to, reset skills or do anything like that?
From match to match, absolutely. Right now, you're kind of locked into these skills. You play through the match and all of that, but we're talking about some things we might do to mix that up a little bit.
Sure. That'd be cool.
All right, I think we're about out of time because I think they're going to be playing some space games over there. But thank you so much for coming. The game looks awesome, and hopefully it's on a lot more people's radars now.
Thank you guys very much.
Can't wait to get my hands on it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ash.
Have a good PAX.
You too.
Hey,
oh my God.
It's us.
Oh my God, there's a camera. Freezing. Hold on, you're looking at the wrong camera.
Yeah, we're over there.
Oh my God, we're over here. Hey, it's PAX 2015. Oh my God. Hey, what game are you looking forward to the most, actually? In actuality, what game are you looking forward to the most this fall?
This fall.
This fall? Coming out this fall?
This fall.
Spectre, James Bond.
That one.
I am mostly looking forward to, in reality, Destiny.
Oh,
And I'm a
okay.
big Destiny guy, and I
Right.
really like
Yeah.
Destiny.
Yeah.
And I particularly like Galahorn. Galahorn?
So
It took me forever to get Galahorn.
You have to like.
Did it really?
Small nod from.
I got a funny story for you.
Please explain to me.
I play Destiny pretty casually, not very serious at all. And then more recently, I was like, hey, I'll get together with a couple of people. I'll do Baltic Glass. Never done it before. And I was like level 24, so I just got carried through the whole thing. At the end, random drop Galahorn. First time.
It's really funny because I don't know if you know Destiny, the Galahorn is like the weapon. It's the weapon to have. You get Galahorn, you're going to kind of beat the game. And then what happened was, like a week or two, they actually had a guy who was just going to sell it. He was just going to sell it to you. All you had to have were like the coins. And I was like, oh my god, this is fucking... I mean, I almost made a video out of it where it's like, how to get Galahorn.
Yeah.
It's right there, you just buy it.
Here you go. Take my money.
So I've never played Destiny. What is that weapon?
It's like a big, it's like a rocket launcher, right? But the funniest thing about it is the Minnesota Vikings, who's a football team, they have this thing called Galahorn that is somehow associated with their football team. And apparently, like that day, everybody started tweeting about Galahorn, and the Minnesota Vikings were like, yeah, we're really excited about Minnesota Viking football too this week for some reason. Don't know why everyone's tweeting at it.
Galahorn sounds like... Do you remember the World Cup where everyone was walking around with those instruments? Those really
The
annoying...
vuvuzelas?
The vuvuzelas?
Yeah.
It sounds like a Galahorn would be just a bigger version of one of those.
Wait, is this a... what's the name of it?
Vuvuzela or vuvuzela?
It was like when it was in South Africa.
It's like a long horn and it went like...
It just sounded like bees.
Isn't Vuvuzela that thing that attacks Godzilla?
If you listen, check yourself. Go to the doctor if you think you might have Vuvuzela.
Yeah.
You had a presentation prepared on how to be cleanly and together at PAX 20.
So you don't get conference ass.
I gave myself a nice little segue there through the STDs thing. So PAX, you know, we're all here. We're all here for a lot of days. We're meeting a lot of people. We're coming up against a lot of people. We're in a rush. Maybe we're not showering. So we want to give you...
Everyone has moisture.
We want to give you 3 tips to stay clean at PAX.
Only 3?
3. Well,
I feel like there's...
I feel like I could boil it down to 1, but...
Okay.
My tip number 1.
Tip number 1.
Tip number 1 is going to be just don't worry about the underwear. If you don't wear underwear, you can't get dirty, right?
You don't
it's not a big deal.
need underwear.
You're not going to change it anyway, so just get it out of there. So
just get it out of there.
Yeah.
But maybe for a guy, don't wear underwear. But what about for a girl? Should you wear underwear?
Do women own underwear?
Usually.
I do have a question for you.
Yeah, follow up.
Do you actually engage in the practices that you're preaching right now? Uncomfortable.
He's a liar. He's wearing underwear. Calvin Klein, to be specific.
Well, that's actually my pants. I wear underwear as pants.
Okay, so don't wear underwear.
Don't wear underwear. That's tip number 1. What's tip number 2?
Tip number 2 is...
Really?
Come on, improv.
I mean, I can't think of anything funny. I could only
Can you
think
just
of
host on the spot?
Okay, tip number 2, always wipe your ass completely when you're done with all your businesses.
And then you can get rid of all the bread.
all the pants.
Crustables.
No, it was
pants croutons.
Pants croutons. Thank you. Where were you
Callback.
earlier?
I have a follow-up question about that.
About wiping your butt?
If you're not at PAX, it's cool to just wipe one
Yeah,
wipe
I
and
mean,
go.
do whatever you want. It's your life.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure it was a PAX exclusive rule.
What you do is fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you just
I'm good.
you go and then you get up and leave.
By the way,
when you have underwear on, it doesn't matter.
I have a genuine question.
Okay.
What in the fuck is it on our microphones? What is
The
happening?
YouTube gaming logo.
Is that the YouTube gaming logo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I openly
You
making
just thought
fun of
that they
YouTube
just came up
gaming?
and they put something on there.
What
You're
the
like,
fuck is that thing? It kind of does look like a heart.
Joel comes on the stream and insults the logo and swears a whole bunch.
What in the
Don't worry. We'll cut this whole part out. Oh, we're live? Oh, okay.
Fine.
We'll just keep it in then.
I mean, is there a metaphor? It's like a heart and there's
It's
a
a
white
pixel heart.
It's a pixelated-
They love gaming.
Like, I mean, and if you count, I mean, there's like multiple sides.
To the horde.
It's 4.
What happens if you put them all together, James?
I don't know. Interstellar.
Swastika.
You're up there.
Okay,
like,
so
So tip number 3. Tip number 3.
Tip number 3, Joel.
Tip number 3. You don't need a tip number 3. Tip number 1. Fucking soap.
Oh, right.
That wasn't the number 1 tip, though. The number 1 tip was don't wear underwear.
No, but he's
but
saying
you don't need any other
I think
tips.
he
There's
has
this
got a good
thing.
point.
It's a square. You put it on your face and rub it on your body.
Yeah.
Just rub it. Put it all over your body.
Anywhere's
Rub
good.
it up and down.
Anywhere.
I also say dental hygiene, which
Brush
don't
your
use
teeth.
soap for that.
Brush your
Dental
teeth.
hygiene.
No one needs stinky breath.
Yeah.
Change your clothes
That's
often.
really helpful.
It's practically raining outside, so if you don't have a shower or something,
Just take a bar of soap,
just,
go
yeah,
outside.
take a bar outside, go outside and wait.
You can eat it. You can like put it in your mouth. You can move it around.
Do the whole
Good.
shebang.
It's good cleanliness.
It's going well.
It's good times.
Going real good. Remember before this started, we were like, we don't need anything. We'll just vamp.
You know, it's funny because it's like every time. Are there any Canadians here? There's. Okay,
is a raid.
I know the Canadians outside because there's an intersection outside, and I notice it's like the most confusing intersection in the world. And I can always tell the Canadians because when the "don't walk" symbol comes up, you guys don't fucking walk. You just actually literally follow the directions.
Yeah.
And you stand there and you don't cross until it tells them to cross.
Apparently they're really harsh about ticketing jaywalkers here, though.
Are they?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
You're living on the edge, my friend.
I mean, all the Americans, they just literally stream across the road. They
Because
don't
the
follow.
Canadians will get deported. They'll get sent back.
Sent back upstairs.
Yeah,
That does make sense, actually.
Cool.
That
Well,
makes sense.
thank you guys so much. We're going to kick it over to the couches. We got Game Grumps. We got some Screw Attack over there. We got some Kind of Funny. A whole mix of people. Take it away.
Hello, welcome back to the stage. Thanks, Barbara. Thanks, guys. I have no idea what y'all were doing, but it sounded really entertaining. So we're here. We're going to be doing a little bit of a YouTube roundtable. Got a few guests with me. I'm Gus Sorolla from Rooster Teeth, and we'll just have everyone start introducing themselves.
Hi, I'm Adam Kovic from Funhouse and Rooster Teeth. Hello.
I'm Tim Geddes from Kind of Funny.
I'm Craig from Screw Attack.
I'm Aaron. I'm from Game Grumps.
Yeah, I'm also from Game Grumps. I'm Ross.
So I figure we'll just spend a little bit of time talking about YouTube, the creative process, and why it is that we all chose it as a platform, and why we can all relax on couches like this. So I'll start down here on this end. With Game Grumps, like how long has it been that you've been creating content and distributing it online?
I think it's almost been exactly 2 years.
Yeah, I think 2 years exactly.
Well, with Game Grumps, creating content online for us, I mean, it's been like 10 years.
Yeah,
now
we
or
started when
something
we were
like that.
17. No, maybe earlier. I think like 13 when I first started.
Yeah. Well, if you count Napster as
I guess that's
as
true.
a distribution platform.
Dragon Ball Z in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Everyone renamed. What is it? Invader Zim.
Invader Zim does DBZ.
I don't know. Yeah.
That was old school, man.
Yeah.
I remember watching your stuff like on Newgrounds.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Those
For
are the
sure.
days. But
Yeah.
we're talking about YouTube here. We ain't talking about Napster. No, this isn't 1999.
It's interesting to watch, and to see the evolution of platforms and to see, where it is in trying to find the appropriate audience. And I think, everyone up here works on a channel with, a huge, passionate audience. I'm going to go to my left now. Like, what kinds of challenges do you see in, like, trying to service that audience, Tim? Like, when you're trying to put out videos and keep everyone entertained?
I mean, it's difficult. It's always the challenge. You just need to realize you can't please everybody, and you got to find the niche group that actually likes the content and just foster that positivity and really just kind of get in there. You can't worry about the negativity, or else the moment you start going for everyone's the moment it's just not going to work.
Well, you guys are a little different though, because you guys are essentially funded by your audience with Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon is our
which
biggest.
is really different because all of us here are hoping our audience just doesn't disappear overnight, so we can continue to do this thing on YouTube.
Well, we're hoping the Patreon doesn't disappear. It's the same thing. You're always hoping and wishing something doesn't happen, but it's about being in all the right places at the right time as much as possible, And Patreon for us made sense to go, especially coming from IGN, where we kind of had that built-in audience to be able to jump off and do our own thing. Like Kovic did something very similar, and it's really cool seeing how everybody's kind of in one ecosystem using YouTube in different ways.
The interesting thing to me about like the Patreon model, like Craig is saying, is that if you start losing your audience, right away.
Yep.
Like, I mean, you can focus on pleasing that group, but if they start leaving, like right away, whereas, if you have a larger presence elsewhere, you may not necessarily realize that right away. So that's really interesting.
I mean, it's good though because you get that immediate feedback. You can see, well, we made this change and it's really negatively affecting what we're doing. Let's stop that. Oh, we did this and people like it. And so it's really nice. It's like a nice feedback system. And because they're on Patreon, that means they actually like us. So it's different than on you know, in the ecosystem where on YouTube, all the comments, who knows where they're coming from, but we know that these are the dedicated people, and then that translates back to YouTube, where our comments are generally positive and really, really good, and we don't have to deal with too many trolls.
That's good. And I forgot to mention earlier that if anybody has questions or wants to interact with us, they can tweet us with hashtag RTPAX, and I'm checking it right now, and I'll pass on any relevant questions to our panel members up here. So Craig, I mean, you work with Screw Attack. Screw Attack's been around. I've been a huge fan of the work you guys do for so long. You know, how is it, like, as you grow, like, what challenges do you see, like, maintaining that growth and watching your baby grow over time?
We've had an interesting run. I mean, when we started, YouTube was a place where you found like cat videos and a guy when guys getting punched in the balls, you know? Like it wasn't what it is today, right? So when we started, we knew there was no video platform. I mean, this is 10 years ago now, so the closest thing to a video platform was like Rever. Like, anybody, you guys remember Rever at all? Like Rever and Blip wasn't even around. So we actually started, we had to be really crafty. We started working with game trailers. We worked with them for 5 years, and that's how a lot of people got to know our stuff. We did some stuff with IGN. We did some stuff with 1UP. We did stuff just to survive. And really up until probably 2011, that's when we really embraced YouTube for the first time and saw it as something more than just like a promotional tool for us. And it's been good because early on we uploaded a video, like it was within three or 4 weeks of our channel being live on YouTube, and it was of we did a series called the Video Game Vault, and it featured footage of the Simpsons video game. Anyways, Fox saw that and they flagged it, right? So for essentially 5 years, we couldn't monetize our content at all on YouTube. So we just used it as this like place to push people back to our website. And we eventually got that all scored away. And since we've like fully embraced YouTube and said, okay, this is where you're gonna find all of our stuff, and kind of follow the best practices of, okay, you know, you pretty much do what YouTube says to do, and you'll have an opportunity to be successful. It's fine, like I guess like finding a home, I guess, for the first time, because we've had to hop around so much, and that's been both a good thing and a negative thing, because while you can always find our stuff on our home on screwattack.com, a lot of people have gotten to know us through other outlets. So
something really interesting about that is the fact that with Screw Attack or Rooster Teeth or formerly IGN, I saw all of those companies have their own websites, and they were late to the YouTube game. You know, like you said, in 2011, Rooster Teeth didn't really start doing YouTube until
2009, I think.
Yeah, and IGN, same thing. And it's like these are companies that are huge and have existed for so long, and then they came on to the YouTube and they made it work. You know, and I remember hearing everyone saying, "Oh, it's too late. Like, there's already the smoshes and all this stuff." But I thought it's really cool that where we're at now, it's never too late. You know, Jenna Marbles comes out, she's instantly, you know, everyone in the world knows who she is and all this stuff. And she came out of nowhere, you know, and her growth was so fast. Epic Mealtime, like, it happened overnight, you know. And to be able to see now, like, talk to you guys, and you guys are the top, you know. It's
that's funny. That's funny.
I think that, you know, and it's something that we've touched on in the past, is if you, and the thought process that we had when we started Rooster Teeth was, if we make stuff that we think is funny, there's enough other people in the world who also find that kind of stuff funny. And you don't have to appeal to 6 billion people in the world. You just have to find a passionate core and, you know, cater to them and speak directly to them and make that connection. Which makes me want to ask Adam a question. You know, so we brought Funhouse into Rooster Teeth a little earlier this year, I think. And, you know, what's it like trying to transition a community who follows you in one place to then, you know, move them over to somewhere new, to a new channel, basically?
Well, like, so we're a little different because Tim was talking earlier about getting into the YouTube game late. I was at Machinima, whose website was so bad they immediately went to YouTube, and they're like, oh yes, this is so much easier, we don't have to pay for bandwidth. But then looking at like other sites like you know, Game Grumps and again all these other sites who were getting late to the game, we didn't have to deal with any of that, so we're there so early. So our entire following was always YouTube. But we always looked like, it's funny because like I was always on Newgrounds, big fan, love you. And like, I always looked at sites like that as like, oh, you need a destination. And I never thought YouTube would get to the point where it is now. But the biggest thing that we took away from it was the analytical data. We all became a lot more data-driven than we thought we'd be, because YouTube will tell you, like, right, if this was a video that we're putting up right now, and every time they cut the Gus, you can see the viewers go down or up.
No, down. It's definitely down.
Yeah, and like, that stuff's powerful, and like, it helps you in all. Basically, we have like mathematically moved our fans from one place to another. So it wasn't that hard because we almost could break it down with like an algorithm and go, if we move here, this amount of people will come. It wasn't like that hard.
So is this thing, do you guys think like that? Do you guys look at, when you guys look at your channel, you guys have spun off several channels and have been very successful in doing so, right? Have you guys actually looked at analytics and said, okay, we think if we did this, and taken the analytical approach that they did when they jumped over?
I don't, not really. You just kind of do whatever we want. Yeah.
Well, see, I think that says a lot about your audience, though, is that they'll just follow you no matter what. And where, like, with us, I mean, spinning off a channel on a second channel or third channel is really hard to do. But for you guys, it's just like, cool, and they just follow you, and it's great. And I think that says a lot about you guys. I think that's awesome.
Thank you. That's very nice. I guess.
You're welcome, Aaron.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with Grump Out in particular, we were just kind of like, there's all this dumb stuff that we want to make, but it wouldn't be appropriate to put on Game Grumps, so we just launched a new channel, and like, I created this banner, and then there was space for something else, and I was gonna be like, oh, maybe it should be like an image of us or something, and it just felt too, I don't know, like disingenuous. So I just put who fucking cares, and that's sort of been the mantra of everything that we've ever done.
No, you actually put who cares, and I said no, it should be who fucking
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, well, that's the beauty of YouTube, right? Like, you can just do whatever you want, and it'll find an audience. So that's just what we've done, I guess.
So someone on Twitter was asking, you know, when you guys started up, you know, making your content and putting it on YouTube, like, were there any tricks? Like they were asking, they were saying they want to start their own YouTube channel. Like, how was it that you did? What steps did you take in order to help get yours off the ground?
I'd say it was really, you know, I mean, Game Room starting out with a combination of Chandra and Ego Raptor, and that was, you know, that was a huge boost to a new channel. You know, when you're starting with two people who have already got an established audience coming together to do something collaboratively, you're going to be pulling from two audience pools, and I think that really helped it in the beginning.
Yeah, it's hard, because a lot of people ask me that question specifically, and I'm like, well, I feel like we didn't really... we just had an opportunity, right? So like, I already had a fan base, so I moved it over to Game Grumps. Yeah. You know, so whenever somebody's like, how do I grow my channel? I'm like, I don't know. Be on Newgrounds and make parodies in 2005, and then carry that over to YouTube. And
but I think that comes back to what they're saying, people following you. Because when we started on YouTube, we had like a giant push of people coming from Newgrounds to come and follow us. So I think if I didn't have that at the beginning, you didn't have that at the beginning, it probably would have been really difficult to get started there.
Yeah, pretty much. Just I guess in that vein, to generalize it, it would just be like, take advantage of whatever opportunity you have.
Absolutely.
Like, if you have some kind of in somewhere, or you know somebody or whatever that can help, then just, you know, accept that and use it. I don't want to make that sound like manipulative or anything. Like, I mean, it's true. We all have an opportunity somewhere. It's like, oh, I know this guy who influences 10,000 people. Like, ask him to see if he'll help out, and if he does, then great. You know, you got one foot in the door now.
Yeah, I think like when people ask me all the time, you know, if people ask me how do I get my channel started, I have a very similar answer. Like, I don't know. Like we got, you know, we were at the right place at the right time. It was definitely, you know, a once in a lifetime opportunity. You know, at the time we started, nobody was doing video on the internet. You know, we started before YouTube even existed, and it was just a lot of momentum and timing, man. And so I always feel awkward when trying to give advice to someone. And the advice I end up giving them is stuff like, release consistently, you know, start making stuff now. I feel like a lot of people find excuses for why they're not making stuff now. They say, oh, I'm waiting till I get a better computer, or oh, I'm waiting until my friend has more free time. It's like, no, just start making stuff now.
I think personally, I know it's so cliche, but and it's gonna sound like a high school coach, like getting his football team going, but I very much believe in the Nike slogan of like just do it, and Shia LaBeouf, just whatever his name is, just do it. I very much believe it.
You believe in Shia LaBeouf?
You just need to stop making excuses and just do it, you know, like it's just the God honest truth, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I would always say, like, have a passion for what you're doing. Like, I don't think any channel's ever been successful because someone was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but here's the thing. It's like, there's at least something behind it, like, I love video games, or I want to, like, going to Aaron did a series called Sequelitis, which I was always like, it's really good. Like, clearly there's a lot of passion behind this thing. You're gonna talk about Mega Man for half an hour, but at least you can tell this guy cares a lot about it. Yeah. And, like, people can pick up on that. And they can pick up on you when you're being a phony. When you're just kind of, like, phoning it in. You're like, hey, guys, I'm playing Call of Duty or whatever. Anyway, like my video so I can have money for weed. And it's like, cool. Like, I don't like stop wasting everyone's time, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, do something that you care about because people will pick up on that.
And I think the thing there is there's a difference between making a product and you kind of being the product. And there's a big difference between when you're watching a video because it's a Call of Duty video or when you're watching a video because it's Aaron playing a game, because it's Craig playing a game. And I think Bruce's Team is a great example of that. Red vs. Blue being the product that kind of got people hooked. But really, the secret to you guys' success is the fact that people care about you guys. You know, you guys are characters, and you guys are personalities that no matter what you're doing, they're not interested in what you're doing. They're interested in you doing it.
Right.
And that's hard to build, but once you have that,
I think that's one of the beauties of a show like this, like coming to a show like PAX, as a content creator, getting to connect with your fans and see them face to face. I always say, we have our own convention in Austin called RTX, and I always say RTX is like the cult get together, like where everyone comes and I brainwash them, and then they go back to their homes and then spread the gospel. Like they tell all their friends to subscribe and then start watching the content.
and that's so much more successful than the kids trying to get weed money. You know, saying like this, leave a comment, click, click, click. But like that, when you are in a room at RTX, like I was there, feeling the passion. You're being here with a room full of people. It's like there's something about that all of us connect on nerd culture, video games, whatever it is. We're all here, you know. And we're up here on stage, but it's like there's nothing special about us. No offense, but I know, you know what I mean? And it's not like anybody turns me.
Totally agree.
Yeah, that's like the big secret. It's like there is no secret. The big secret is there is no secret.
Yeah.
It's like you just have to start making stuff. And
I just wait for YouTube to tell me to do something. Like you should, at the end of your videos, you should tell people to like your videos because that's good. All right, I'll do that then. Sounds good. At the end of your videos, you should have annotations to go to other videos. All right, sounds good. You know, and whatever. The secret of success is listening to YouTube, listening to their best practices.
Yeah, I mean, they have the playbook at youtube.com playbook, and it's like, I sound so silly. I talk about this all the time, but whenever people are like, how if I'm starting a channel, what should I do? I'm like, go read that. It's a Bible. It literally gives you instruction on how to succeed. If you follow it, you'll succeed.
Well,
here's but that's
not a guarantee.
But no, but it's guaranteed because success doesn't, you know, what's the definition of success? You know what I mean? Like,
that's really deep.
A Ferrari.
That's really deep, buddy. Yeah.
Ferrari, man.
All the weed Adam can handle.
I'm still not successful.
Where that came from. What were you gonna say?
I think the amalgamation of all those is like the correct answer, right? So if you sort of like listen to this kind of circumstantial advice where it's like, oh well, you know, you have to take advantage of this algorithm or whatever, or like, you know, this is how you make thumbnails. I feel like once people sort of have that figured out, there's like this 3-month window where that's still effective, and then like something changes. Yeah. But I think the bottom line is that you should really just do something that you really like doing, that you would do anyway. And then if you spent like 2 or 3 years of your life doing that thing, and it never like is successful, then I would say you're still successful because you were happy doing it. Like you had fun and it was great. So
I think it's like enjoying the journey, not just getting to the destination, right? It's like having fun doing something.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very zen approach. It's like if you're just in it to like get popular and make money, then what's after that that's gonna bring you happiness, right? Probably nothing. Like, you're probably gonna buy a bunch of stuff and then you're gonna be like, well, I'm still not happy.
Well, it's funny because listening to everybody talk, everybody has a different way, I guess, that their channel became successful, right? Like, Funhouse was very analytical, right? You guys are just like, let's just do it, you know? And there's different ways. So there truly is no secret sauce, you know? It just comes down to that passion. Like, I think that's the underlying base to everything.
Yeah, I think that's the recurring theme in everything, in every answer everyone's given is you know, people can spot if you're being phony. If you're passionate about it and you enjoy it, that's what comes through, and then that's what people really see. I think that's what people want to see. They want to see people who are as passionate about something as them. Like I was talking earlier, you know, walking around PAX, I'll see these really elaborate cosplays, and sometimes I don't recognize what it's from. I think that's crazy. It's like, it's something I have known nothing about, but this person loves so much that they spent weeks and hours of their time like building this elaborate setup, and it's like that passion really shows through.
Do you guys feel stupid when you don't know, when you don't recognize something? Like somebody walking around in a cosplay? I feel stupid every time. I feel like people always, they look at, people walk out to me and like, what do you think of this? And I'm like, I don't know what that is. And they look at you with the expectation of, you should know what it is because you're on the internet. You're like, you should be an expert on this. I'm an expert on nothing. I know nothing, so don't expect anything from me. I set the bar really low, and if they exceed, then that's great.
Yeah, we did too. Kind of funny. It's like, we can't not hit that. You can't say we're not kind of funny.
It's like, yeah, I didn't laugh out loud, but it made me smile.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. There's a question here for Game Grumps. It says, since you transitioned into offices, do you have any advice for Tim and the Kind of Funny crew when it comes to looking for offices or for what office space requires?
Make sure your neighbors aren't noisy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah. We have some noisy neighbors.
Yeah.
It's been hard to film some stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just find a space that jives with you, you know? You can always make any space your own. Natural light is pretty important. That's true. Like, if you just have a completely closed-in office, you're probably not going to have a good time after a while. It's going to, like, get to you.
I mean, ours wasn't perfect when we first got it.
Yeah,
we had to build a sound booth and everything.
Yeah, we had to tear down some walls.
Kind of got to make it your own, I think. Yeah. Just look and go.
It's pretty daunting.
Yeah.
Like, it's really daunting finding office space. It's like a long process. Yeah. It's a pain in the ass. And like when we were finding ours, it was like we've had the first office was my apartments.
Yep.
The second office was a place that made it is really bizarre. They made like plastic limbs. Like
Plastic
like,
what?
Yeah, no, what's that?
Plastic what?
Like limbs. Like,
oh, okay.
Like for the body part.
mannequins?
Like it was like 10 years prior. And then like our third one was a game store that we shut down, and like where we're at right now was our first real like office. Every else has been such like a scrappy. It's been horrible.
Yeah, it's been crazy for us because we kind of go backwards. Where being at IGN, we had this elaborate studio and like whatever we wanted, and now we're in a spare bedroom of an apartment, and there's like 3 girlfriends that live there, and just all day it's just there's people everywhere, you know. And we're looking into trying to get spaces and stuff, but like that alone is such a daunting thing just to think about the neighbors and the sound booth and this and that. There's so many things that go into it, but yeah.
I think another thing too that a lot of people don't think about very hard is whether or not you like an open office or an office where you can like have a door.
Right.
'Cause there are some people who like open offices and some people that don't.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously if you have an open office, it's usually going to be all open office.
Yeah.
So I think sort of communicating, figuring that out, because it's really hard to figure out if that's what you like or not. It takes like a couple months where you're like, oh man, I'm not feeling like working today. I wonder why. Oh, maybe it's because I want my door closed so no one will bother me. And you really have to like communicate that to everyone and be like, hey, look, I'm this kind of person. I need this to work well. Yeah.
I feel like you also, in the search for an appropriate space to work, you get skills that you never had before. Like when we started, we were in an apartment as well, and it was like, oh, I just learned about electricity because I learned our apartment doesn't have enough electricity for all of our computers and game consoles. So it's like, oh, I having to learn like, oh, Xboxes draw this many amps of power.
Yeah.
This many amps of power trip the breaker.
Yeah.
You know, let's configure everything. So it's
don't get a personal heater ever.
No. We moved the first time we moved into like a big proper studio. We thought it was great. We had everything planned appropriately. And then we hired Barbara to do to be our community manager. And she was one of our first women hires. And one day she plugged in a curling iron into an outlet in the bathroom, and we found out that outlet was on the same outlet as all of our servers that were in the building. And it said the curling iron heated up, tripped a breaker, everything went down. It was like, all right, we're learning still about
electricity.
electricity.
Curling iron took down the entire.
Yeah, like everyone just had to stop work. for an hour.
I just realized there's an important distinction, I think, from a lot of what I think people think of as typical YouTuber. Everyone here is part of a group. That's kind of rare, I think, in terms of a YouTube space, and like, that's a big question you have to ask yourself if you want to get into production. Are you happier by yourself doing everything, or do you want to lean on others? Because like, I don't know how any of you guys ever operate, but like, if I'm not feeling it like 100%, I can lean on Bruce or James, and kind of just sink back and go like, these guys can take it, and I don't need to be on all the time. I think you have to be a certain temperament type, usually an insufferable, you know, ADD level person, I think, who can do that sort of thing where like you're always on. I am not that person. I know Gus isn't that person.
I'm not that
definitely not that person. I'm more laid back and kind of like, I want to just work with my friends and screw around rather than like be wacky, you know, Fred, R.I.P. But like, you know, that's sort of thing. So.
I mean, that's the cool thing about YouTube though, is there's no rules. You know, you can put fuck on your banner if you want. No one's gonna tell you not to do that.
Right.
And it's like you can be one guy, you can have your friends. You make your own rules. You make your own system and like confines that you work in. And like I know personally, like I like having a team. I like having people that are good at different things. Being able to be like, I know they're gonna be good. I can count on them. I don't need to worry about it. You know?
Yeah.
But I think it's also a matter of finding a group you work well with and a group that you won't want to kill after spending 16 hours nonstop together.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of work that goes into it that maybe people don't see. You know, when you watch the end result, you see a video that's great, but then on the back end, on the production side, it's like, oh right, I spent 50 hours nonstop working on that.
Well, I mean, I can personally attest to that. I mean, like, I well chronicled. That was my first realization that the internet is a horrible place to work. Was within a year of Screw Attack starting, I had to essentially fire my best friend from the company because while he was my best friend personally, we just didn't gel together on a professional level, right? We had our work styles were way different. He wanted different things from the company than I wanted, and it took really 2.5, 3 years before, like, I remember leaving our office and feeling, and for the first time, I remember leaving and going, the place isn't going to burn down. Like, it's going to be fine because I trust the people at the office, and I trust that things are going to continue to get done, and I don't need to be there for that. And that was really, like, empowering, knowing that they had, that I felt confident enough that Ben and Nick and the guys who were at the office, they were going to do a great job. And that was awesome. That was, like, a really amazing feeling. And sometimes the first person you work with isn't the right person, you know. It's just like any other relationship, you know. You have different girlfriends until you get married, you know. In a weird metaphor, I don't know.
No, but yeah, I mean, this is like, I mean, I think it's a good comparison because when you're working doing production stuff, these are the people you're going to see the most. You know, when I first got married, Rooster Teeth was a lot smaller of a company, and for us, a day was, okay, we're going to get to the office, we're going to spend 8 hours working on Red versus Blue. So you spend 8 hours working on Red versus Blue, then as soon as you were done, it's like, great, now we're going to spend 8 hours working on live action shorts. It's like, sweet. And hopefully I'll get to go to sleep at home some point. So these are people you spend a lot of time with in close proximity. So it's good to make sure, again, just do it, start making stuff with these people and see, you know, who you can collaborate with, who you can work well with, and this helps you answer questions like, do I like an open office? Do I like a closed office? Like, you have to start experiencing these things and living through it in order to get the answers and fully understand how it is that you work.
That was one of the biggest things I learned from just business in general and starting Screw Attack was that not everybody's like me, right? And I think that's something that takes a lot of, just people work differently, you know? And that's something that was a very valuable lesson for me. Like, not everybody wants to wake up and go to work and then go home and work more and then eat and then go work more, you know? Like, that's just not how some people work, and that's fine, you know? But you just need to be open to how people function, you know? I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, obviously, it's a lot better now, but for a long time, when people would ask, you know, what is it that you do for a living, I've had no easy way to answer them. I think now people understand, you can say something like, it's kind of like a YouTube channel, and they start to get that. So I think, you know, it's really breaking out into the more mainstream. You know, how is it, you know, you guys, how do you describe what it is that you do? If someone walks up to you who doesn't know, like, and they say, what do you do for a living?
My mother tells everyone back in Australia that I review games for a living, and I'm like,
Yeah, when you work at a review company, you make games. Everyone's like, oh, you work at IGN, you make video games. Did you make Halo? No, I didn't make Halo.
Or you must play video games all day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, actually at PAX, I have played 0 games, because that's what being in the industry actually means.
Yeah, I mean, I find it's easy to explain. When I was back visiting my mom and dad in Australia, I found it was very hard to explain what Game Grumps was, because I would always start with, so Mystery Science Theater, and everyone in the US generally is like, yeah, but in Australia everyone's like, what the hell is that? So I'm just like, shit, I don't know what to do now. Yeah, so I don't know.
I just say I'm a comedian.
Yeah, that's an easy
like,
one.
okay, I get it. You make people laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's a really easy.
I'm always afraid of saying that. Because I always fear the follow-up question. Or like, hey, well, okay, say something funny.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's not how it works.
Yeah. No.
No.
All right.
Just tickle them.
A lot of what we do is based on Rooster Teeth and seeing the successes of it. And I think that the biggest thing is the tenet of gaming comedy community. And I feel like that, I haven't yet figured out a way to explain that to people, as that's my job. But it's somewhere around there. I'm on the path of that.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Adam? What do you say when people ask you what you do for a living?
The last people, God rest their soul, they're not dead, but my grandparents, they asked me, they're sitting around the table, like, so what do you do? I'm like, we make videos on the internet. They're like, how do you make money? I'm like, Google does it. I don't know. Like, they're doing it. They're like, but how do you make money? I don't know. I just get a paycheck when I do something good. I don't know. I feel like a rat in a cage, and it's fine. But now I think because YouTube has become essentially a verb at this point, a verb and a noun and an adjective and many other objects, you can explain to someone that I am an online video, like I'm an online content creator.
Yep.
I just say that, and they're like, have I seen your stuff? Like, probably not, and that's fine. That's okay. Go watch a cat video.
Yeah. So if you weren't doing this, making content online, what would you see yourself doing? Like your alternate reality Adam Kovic, what is he doing right now?
Probably a gay porn star. I wanted to be like a veterinarian at one point. I wanted to work with dolphins.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why
I like animals. Animals are cool, and dolphins are the best.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
Thank you.
I like dolphins.
Right.
What about you, Tim?
I mean, so I remember being in high school, and I knew I wanted to do video. And I knew I wanted to do short video. I didn't want to do TV. I didn't want to do movies. So I was like, I guess music videos and commercials? And I was like, that sounds lame. I don't know, maybe music videos. I don't know. And then right then was when YouTube started happening. I'm like, I want to do that. So I'd probably be making music videos and commercials. No one would like them.
no one would know you made them.
Yes, exactly.
You are. What about you, Craig? What is the alternate reality Craig doing?
So when I finished college, I had two passions, like video games and I like sports, right? And I finished with a degree in journalism, and I realized I hated reading and writing. So I had that, so that was pretty important. I'd probably be like calling single-A baseball games in Pawtucket, Rhode Island or something, waiting for somebody to die so I could advance in my career field. Like, honestly, I'd probably be doing something really boring, like, I don't know. That most likely, that's probably where I'd be. Calling single or double A or minor league basketball games in China or something. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't even want to think about it. Don't ask those questions.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't know, man. I feel like I just like creating, so I just hop around from thing to thing. Yeah. The only reason that I started doing animation aggressively was because it caught on. Like people started watching it, and I started getting paid for it. I was like, all right, maybe I'll do this for a while. There's an alternate reality where I got into music instead, and there's an alternate reality where I did professional voice acting full time. But the most consistent thing that I've found about myself is that if I retired and I had like $1 zillion and didn't have to worry about anything, I would just buy a giant warehouse and just make miniatures for the rest of my life. And just fill the warehouse with like tiny little towns. I don't know why.
That's awesome. Like sense.
Yeah. And I would just once it was like filled, I would just open it up to the public for free and just be like, hey, check out these little towns. Isn't that cool?
Is that something you do in your spare time? Do you do stuff with miniatures, or is this just like?
I just always like toys, and I like meticulously creating stuff.
Our Game Grumps offices stole the Transformers that previously were at your house, and now we're in boxes, and we look like a hoarder in our office. But I don't know. Is that your answer?
Yeah.
I guess when I was a kid, I wanted to be a paleontologist, and then I learned I sunburned too easy, so that wasn't going to happen. I don't know. I think if Game Grumps didn't happen, I'd just be animating for some studio and probably working on some idea I hate. Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'd say animation. Yeah.
The key there is make YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to do any of that other stuff?
Yeah.
Well, it's like your answer about making animation that you didn't like, and your answer about like making commercials and TV stuff. It's like that's the stereotypical thing where you want to create, but you end up creating someone else's vision, or you end up creating for someone else, and you're not necessarily as passionate about that stuff because you're not as invested in it. Whereas, like, if you're, and it goes back to what you said, if you have that drive and that fire in you, you're going to create somehow. Whether it's the medium doesn't necessarily isn't the focus. It's just getting a message out.
Well, I think it's also cool that YouTube sort of allows you to like pick the process, you know, like because when you're in traditional media, I guess, you know, you have a role and then you have to do that one role, you know. But like in YouTube, it's like even when you get to a point where like things are going cool for you and you can kind of step back from whatever, you can still choose what you want to do. If it's like, well, I like writing, but I don't like directing, but I do like editing, and I do like doing post-production, so you can just do those parts and then like get somebody else to do another part. Whereas in traditional media, it's like, well, I'm a director, so I have to direct. You know, and that's it.
I do find we do a little bit of everything in the Game Grumps, especially me and you. Like, fuck, we're doing like writing, animation, voice acting, branding. Like, whoever's free to do it ends up doing it. That's just generally how it rolls.
I would think the most successful people on YouTube are the people who like to do a little bit of everything. I've never met anyone who is successful like, I only edit. Oh yeah. Okay, then go work in the soul-crushing industry that none of us want to work in, like, where you don't get to do what you want to do. And yeah, I mean, this is the sort of world we live in now where it's like, I've met people who are like, oh, I know After Effects, but I don't know editing. I don't know Premiere. Like, why not? And they're like, I just chose not to. Like, you're probably not going to get very far if you limit yourself to something very small. And you should probably learn as much as you can, because right now education is free. Like, there's so much.
Plus, I found it makes you a lot easier to work with if you understand what you're asking of people to do.
Yeah.
So like if you're familiar with Photoshop and you've done Photoshop a ton, but you don't like doing it, then asking somebody else to do it, you're like, okay, I know what that's going to take. So you're not too demanding when you ask certain things, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of one of the best things about it is there are all these tools, these programs you essentially need to learn, right? Your Premieres, your Photoshops, your Final Cuts, whatever they are. But you can learn them without going to school now. I mean, you can just hop on YouTube and learn basic things. And that's the idea of like, well, I don't know how to do it.
That's always the worst excuse I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's like, you should try it. At least try it and learn to not like it, like Aaron was saying, is like, just to at least have respect for it. I've worked in places where we would go to an event, we'd shoot a thing, and they're like, yeah, just knock it out, it's just an edit job. And they're like, you have no respect for the work an editor does. Like, that is so soul-crushing to do that to somebody. Like, you should understand, like, what this person has gone through so that you're more lenient with them, or you can help them, or work with them. Like, ever to just, like, disrespect someone's position like that is so rude. Like, it should never be in that way, that position.
I think we've all had managers in our life that I heard this phrase and I'm stealing it. I don't remember where I stole it from, but they're just called pigeon managers, where they kind of fly in, they look at what you're doing, and they just shit all over it and then leave, right? Like, everybody's had that manager, and it's good not to be that guy, you know, because nobody wants to be that guy. Nobody wants to be a pigeon manager, so.
But, you know, like Adam was saying, you know, don't pinhole yourself. Don't only learn one thing. That goes back again to like passion. It's like, if you have a message, if you have something you want to share with the world, you're going to look up how to do it. You're going to look up, you're going to find a tutorial or walkthrough, like they'll teach you After Effects or Premiere or whatever. You're going to, you know, investigate and really try to see what it takes to get it out there. And then the kind of person that you're talking about who just wants to do one thing, maybe they don't have as much passion about it. Like, they're just really focused on whatever it is to like make a paycheck or whatever it's going to take to get them from here to the next step.
Well, it's fun because like whenever I come to an event like this, so we do an event in Dallas called SGC, right? And I love And when we went down to RTX, I was looking at how you guys produce stuff. So whenever I'm here, I love to kind of take cues from what other people are doing. So like when I walked up, I was like, okay, lighting placement is here, the rig's here, TV over here, camera's here, the camera placement, the stage setup. And that's one of those things where I just kind of, I'm passionate about like a live setup like this, and it's something stupid to be passionate about, but you just kind of notice these things, and you learn these things about yourself that, you know, before we did our first SGC, I had no idea that I cared that much about a stage setup, you know, and now I'm like, you know, I just soak it in. It's crazy.
Yeah, I worry about stage setups. I look at it and I'm like, how long did that take to build? Okay, well, they had to do this, they had to set up the truss, and event management is crazy. But you know, one of the things that I really like about coming to these events, you know, is, you know, meeting the people who enjoy our content. But it's also really intimidating because I don't know if this happened to you guys, but sometimes they'll show you something that they've done, like, oh, I drew this, or here's a video I made. And I think that's way better than anything I've ever done.
Yeah.
Like, it's really,
that happens on the daily,
it's really
man.
crazy. Yeah. So, I mean, have you all ever encountered something like that? Do you run into people regularly bring anything?
Yeah, I find like animators online, and like I'll follow them on Twitter, and they'll start freaking out. I'm like, chill, you're like way better than I am. Stop. Yeah. You know, like it's I don't know. I just love meeting like animators and illustrators and stuff like that. Definitely. I think 99% of the people that we meet that do similar stuff to what we do are better than us. Yeah. I don't know. I almost feel bad. Yeah.
That's like my favorite thing about this whole thing, though, is in addition to creating content, I get to be a fan. Like, once you make content, it doesn't mean that you're not allowed to like other things. In fact, you're going to succeed more if you do find the things that you like, and you'll learn from it, all that stuff. Like, all of you guys, I'm fans of all of your content, and it's awesome to be here and to be up here with you guys. And I also make content, you know what I mean? And it's really awesome.
Yeah, I think, you know, finding, like you said, following animators or following people who do things you like is a good way to find people to collaborate with or to work with. You know, we've hired many people who, you know, we'll see a funny video that they've made, and then we think that one was funny. Do they have any others? And then we'll immediately drill down and try to watch other things, which goes back to the just do it, to start making stuff. Because if you get noticed, if someone likes the video you made, chances are they want to see more, so they're going to want to see that back catalog of stuff you've made. And it's a great discovery tool. It's great. Kong, YouTube, it's a great way to find people who are doing things that you like, that you're passionate about, and then see about working together.
That's your resume now.
Yep.
Yeah, like your Twitter following, your Instagram following, your YouTube following, like even your Vine following, stuff like that. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to go to another place ever again with a piece of paper and go, here's my resume. It's like, what have you done? Like, you can find it. It's
you know what's scary about that also is that everything that's online right now will always be there forever.
Yeah, it's going to haunt me.
And as somebody who has a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, I fear the day they hop on YouTube and they search Screw Attack.
Naked Craig.
And they look for, and they find Evil Craig. And I'm just there cursing or saying whatever, and they're like, "Daddy, why are you talking like that? It's just a video game." And I'm like, you know, I fear that day. Do you guys have anything online like that? Outside of your porn pictures, Tim.
What the thing that always intimidates me is we started doing a podcast in December of 2008. So now I have almost 7 years of weekly discussions that I've had. And to listen to myself talk and be like, I was so stupid back then. Like, what was I saying? It's,
oh my God.
Like you said, it's just there. And then other people who are finding it for the first time, I'm like, is that their first impression of me? Like, that's not me anymore. That's old me. You know, I don't want them confusing me with that character. It's like, it's weird.
Very much so. You guys have anything online that embarrasses you?
Everything I've ever done.
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah.
The thing is, I tried so hard to make sure that there isn't bad stuff, and it's when you start trying that you start censoring yourself a little too much, and then you don't have fun, you know? And it's like the reason people are coming and watching is because you're being a real person, and people will know watching that you have grown in the last 7 years. They might not realize it right off the bat, but if they liked it enough to keep watching, they'll know, you know? And it's like, I feel like YouTube is becoming such a verb and such a thing that everybody knows that people understand. People grow up, things change. So
I have a question on Twitter directed at the Game Grumps. It's from Heath Williamson. He says, what do you think the next big thing for content creators is online? which is kind of an open-ended question.
Next big thing.
I mean, I'd say streaming is kind of coming up because, like, you know, you got your YouTubes, your Twitches, your all this. I think like that's becoming more of a like. You know what I think? Like Let's Plays and all that. It's almost in a weird way like a surrogate friendship. It's this routine you see every day. You hear these people talk. But now that streaming is becoming this thing where you can actually like directly communicate with that individual that you see and listen to every day, like I think people find that exciting and thrilling. Like they want to actually, because it's like having a friendship where, like, for instance, when I do listen to you guys on Game Grumps and you guys aren't there, I'll listen to you guys talk about something and I'll just be like, wait, you're not here. But when that wall is gone, you can actually talk to them in real time. I think that's a thrilling thing for fans, I think. So, I don't know, streaming is, I think, going to be bigger and bigger and bigger as the years go on. Yeah.
I think YouTube might agree with you.
Yeah.
As we sit on a live stream stage. Streaming's really interesting to me. Like when streaming first started, you know, when Twitch first started a couple years ago, and it was in its infancy, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And it was really difficult. As someone who makes content online, it took a long time for me to come around to it. You know, I would have to watch it and see, and now, you know, at Rooster Teeth, we treat streaming a little differently than most people do, where we treat it almost like television, where we program, and it's, you know, you're going to get these streams on these days at this time, and it's very consistent, and whenever we bring new people onto in fact, we don't even call it streaming at Rooster Teeth. We call our streaming division, we call it our broadcast division.
Right.
And anytime we hire someone new in a broadcast, I tell them, I say, you know, you've heard stories about when television networks were first formed, when NBC first went online. I said, that's what you're doing here. Like, you're making the next generation of television networks. Television is dead. You know, like everyone's coming to the internet. You are actively working on building an entire new industry. So don't fuck it up. And so they get a little nervous about that.
Yeah.
But we have a blast doing it, and it's really great. There's something about that interaction. Like, it goes back to what we talked about. Like, meeting everyone in person is the best experience, but the next best experience is, you know, having an actual chat with them. You know, sharing a gameplay moment where you're playing together, and then having that back and forth communication. I think that's key.
One of the worst things about there's a lot of greatness that comes from streaming, right? But when you suck at video games or you suck at a specific game, the feedback, it's great to share those awesome moments, but man, when you have a horrible moment, it's that's rough.
Yeah.
You know, you can only be told to kill yourself so many times. So
we did a Let's Play in M++ a couple of weeks ago, and it's a co-op like ninja game, and there's certain scenarios where if people die, they can't complete the objective, so everyone else in the co-op game needs to kill themselves in order to reset the level and start over. So that became a common catchphrase for us, was just kill yourself, all right. And it's just like, just restarting, just resetting the game.
I always feel like I'm being constantly judged when we play a game on stream, because you know somebody out, like, just you guys talking about how everybody's better than you at what you guys do, you know, in terms of animation. Everybody is better than me at every video game ever. So whenever I'm on and I'm not doing well, people are just like, why don't you just do this? And it's like, I don't know how to do that, because you've invested 80 hours into the game, and I'm playing it for the first time, you know?
Yeah.
So, the horrible judgment.
Oh, I think the whole Let's Play community has opened up video games in a different way, that we have learned that video games aren't just one thing. And, I mean, Red vs. Blue is a testament to this as well, that, like, you do not need to play a game one way. Like, Red vs. Blue is a bunch of dudes making, you know, heads bob, and they're playing with their puppets, like you're just playing with toys. Let's Plays, anything like we do is all Mystery Science Theater style. Like, being good at the game isn't really a skill as much as making that game look entertaining. So, like, not looking at the floor, not being twitchy, like, you're almost a cameraman, like, in some way. So but you can also go to a channel and watch someone who's skillful at Call of Duty. Like, that exists. I think there's like 10,000 of those. Like, they're there. But I like the fact that video game is so broad that what a Let's Play or like a gameplay video is so different. You cannot define it as just one thing.
Yeah.
It makes my life easier, because, yeah, I'm not good at every game. I can be good at a game, but that's probably about it.
Yeah, it's like you say, like, I love games. I'm passionate about games. I'm terrible at them.
Yeah.
Like, if someone wants to watch me play a game, you're not going to have a good time.
Sorry, sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Adam? Like, what do you think is like the next big? You see any like big things coming up for content creators online?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it yesterday. We went to Valve and we did the Vive, the virtual reality. That's like the new form of entertainment. That's going to be your new big screen. Like, you're going to have a room dedicated to VR, and you're going to walk around in that room and, you know, YouTube's already doing it with the 360 camera stuff. Yeah. That's what it's going to be. And like 5 years from now, a lot of people in the audience right now are going to be on this stage with their headset, but they're going to be in like Boise, Idaho. Like, it's crazy that is where we're at now, and it's becoming so real. Yeah. But yeah, man, Cyberpunk is fun. It's cool.
Did you see the GIF that was going around today? I guess they had 2 VR helmets on, and this guy threw a torch in like a real like plastic torch with I guess like a motion tracker on it. Oh god! Another player, and he caught it with the VR helmet on. I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna change Lars.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Like, they give you these controllers, and it's 1-to-1 because you're just being trapped in this room. We were doing archery, and you literally like you pull out from behind, you click, pull it, and
so cool.
And I kept hitting the freaking headset because it's so big, but you're like, it feels real. Like at one point, you were just like, I felt like Katniss Everdeen. I was just like, no, like it's cool. And there's like a cooking simulator that they have where I dropped like an egg on the floor, and I got down on my knees and picked it up, and I'm like, I just did that.
Yeah.
That's freaking
VR is one of those things where I feel like when you read about it, you're not that excited and you kind of want to hate on it because it's different and you're like, oh, it's a gimmick, whatever. But then when you actually get to do it, there's that moment where it clicks where you're like, oh man, this is really cool. And then there's the second moment that clicks when you're like, all right, this is a video game. What are the rules? Whenever you play a game for the first time, you're trying to figure out what you can and can't do. When I jump, how high do I go? All that stuff. And when you're doing this VR, like there was a demo I did, there was the Getaway or whatever, where you're driving in a car, and you can like open the dashboard thing and like roll down the window and do all this. You instantly start trying to find out what can't I do. I tried adjusting the mirror and it wouldn't let me do that. I'm like, all right, so these are the rules. This is the game. And I think that's what's really interesting about this is how game developers are going to make VR a real experience that's not just gimmicky.
There was a game I saw. I think it was at E3. It was called SMS Racer. It's a VR game where you put the helmet on and it's a racing game. But as you're racing, you get text messages on your phone. And you have to look down and answer text messages on your phone. And if you don't answer them fast enough, you lose friends. And if you lose enough friends, you lose the game. So it's like you have to race, do it quickly, and answer these text messages at the same time, like, which makes you take your eyes off of the road. It's really, really bizarre. But I love, like you said, like mixing and getting out of those typical, stereotypical genres and seeing other stuff. Well, we're at time. I want to thank everyone for coming out, for taking the time to chat with me. It was really fun to talk to everyone.
Thank you.
We're going to throw it off to the side stage where it looks like we got Joel and Ashley over there talking to a couple of people. Joel and Ashley, you ready for us?
Explain what the rules are. Oh, hi! Hi! Welcome back to the 2015 PAX Cosplaying Thumb War Competition.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Can we get a cheer? Maybe one or two? Like,
cosplay
ready?
Thumb War competition.
All right.
All
That's
right.
more like it. All right. So we're going to have a little bit of a Thumb War competition with all of our favorite PAX cosplayers. If you see a cosplayer, grab them and send them up here. I'm talking to you right there. Come on up. Come on up.
This will be, of course, a single elimination Thumb War European rules tournament. So I know that we're all very excited. Okay, and one of them has knives and the other has a ball. All right, that's no problem. I'm gonna take the ball from you. All right, and then this thing weighs a ton, and then I'm gonna take a knife from you.
I'll send you
All right, I take both knives. All right, ready?
Thumb War tournament.
Thumb War. You guys know Thumb War? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. You don't have to do the Thumb War dance. You gotta do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare Thumb War, and that's on. All right, so God of War obviously has a lot of experience as a God of War. Oh, the League of Legends girl. Oh, God of War! God of War has won this round. I'm sorry, League of Legends girl, but as a parting prize, you get your ball back. Yeah. All right. That was good. That's good. You're up 1-0. All right. We need to thank you so much for joining us at the PAX 2015 Thumb War. Did you notice that her dress is right at groin level? Like right at the genitalia level. Right there. It's fine too because what makes her so like move so effortlessly is like she can just go through hallways without running into any obstructions whatsoever. It's just completely smooth. Completely smooth. We need next victim. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to play. I don't want to play God of War and Thumb War. Oh my God, it's Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Thumb War. All right, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare Thumb War. Assassin's Creed guy. The Assassin's Creed guy beat the God of War? God of War, thank you. You're an excellent competitor. We know you'll be back next year. It's amazing there wasn't any blood during that. That's pretty good. Was it tough? Was it tough strategy taking on God of War?
Strategy. Yeah, I went in for it, but then kind of pulled back a little bit.
That was definitely a good strategy. Oh my God, it's just right there. You stand there. Don't be scared. Don't be too scared. All right, Assassin's Creed. Sounds like Deadpool. All right, some more. Attach your hands together in a rhythmic motion. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. They're not very syncopated. 1. Let's get it in there. 2, 1, some more. Not that the count had anything to. No, she's talking trash to him. Just don't pull back. Don't pull back. No. Assassin's Creed does have a height advantage. Oh, he almost had it, but no. Oh, no, almost had it again. It's like all we need is like some hot oil, and this would be really interesting. All right, no. Oh my God, that was almost like a 2 count. I think 1, 2. Oh, no one wants to give this up. This is true. Oh no, Deadpool's dead. Good try. Those 2 guys are very proud of you. That's gonna break into a real fight. All right, get out of here, you lost. All right, next victim. Next victim. Bring it up. It's Thor. It's girl Thor. All right, you're not allowed to use your hammer in this as it's Eastern European. Yeah, no. All right. And then the first part of Thumb War is the hand clasp. Hand clasp. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare Thumb War. Go. Oh my God! That was going in right for the kill there. There's no drama at all. It was like a 2 count. You have a very long thumb, though, I have to say. The thumbs are kissing. Oh no, that was a tie. God, I had no idea Thumb War. Officiating Thumb War is really harder than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a lot easier. What? No, it's fine. Oh, they're dancing now. No, that's a weird handshake. Weird handshake. Don't matter. Just like that. One. Oh, that's close. What? No, I don't know what that is. I don't even know if that even counts. All right, all right, stop. Clasp your hands. Yep, clasp your hands. Clasp your other hands. Clasp your other hands. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare Thumb War. All you need is 1 victory. All you need is 1 victory. That's a victory right there. Assassin's Creed has won. I'm sorry, Thor. Does it mean he can pick up your hammer? Does it mean he can pick up? Never mind, I'm making jokes. All right, thank you. No, he doesn't look worthy to me. It's gonna be really sad that the worst looking cosplay up here wins this. Like Caboose is it's like insulting somebody's cosplay really bad? Is that like a thing? You guys are like, oh, making fun of someone's cosplay. Our next victim, she's already lost an eye. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse. Stand right there. God, please don't lose an eye during this. All right, you all know how Thumb War works. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare Thumb War. There's a little bit of juking, a little bit of trash talking. Oh, she goes in for the kill. She has really sharp nails, by the way. That makes it really dangerous. Really sharp nails. Oh my God, she only can see those, so use your perceptual advantage. She's not legally allowed to drive cars. Or bicycles, probably. That was a 2 count. That was a 2 count. God, this is going to be amazing. I don't know. That's a half credit pin right there. That's a half credit pin. No, that's weird. All right, 2 hands, ready? Clasp. All right. Oh my God. She has some sort of advantage. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare thumb war. All right, we're off. And we're off. It just takes one. It just takes one. There's so much to keep track of right now. There's just so many. Oh! Assassin's Creed wins again. Ridiculous. Thank you for participating. I mean, Assassin's Creed is like a AAA title. So they have like more money, like backing you, which is how it works. Next victim. That's friggin' awesome. Stand here. By the way, well, there's a lot of sharp pointy things up here right now. By the way, if he wins, you are allowed to stab him. Yeah, that's how it works. All right. We're grasping hands now. There we go. All right. Oh, God, I hope I don't damage anyone's cosplay with this. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare thumb war. Oh, my God. It's the thumb war of PAX 2015. It's so engaging. Oh, that was a half pin. Oh, my God. People can't believe that there's a thumb war taking place on a live stream. Like, what the fuck is going on right here? It's Assassin's Creed versus the Metal Jaw guy from, I'm pretty sure it's that Snake game. Oh! The Assassin's Creed loses! Oh, my God. And gets stabbed. Your reign lived long. We'll miss you forever. We're happy that you're a Caboose fan, though, so that works for me. Oh, my God. This is like, all right, this is it. He's giving us a signal. One more? All right, one more. This is it. This is get stand up. There's one more. I don't know. Oh, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be the greatest thing that happened at PAX forever. Oh, my God, you're so short. Look how short you are. How old are you? Can you stand on this? No, sitting doesn't help. It makes you even shorter. But oh my God, you're so cute. This is freaking ridiculous. People love you. You're so cute. You have animals. All right, go ahead. We'll watch the animals. There is no way you can win this. You are completely screwed right now. Go ahead. Go ahead, stand up. Do you want to stand up so people can see you? Do you want to stand up? Okay, you ready? Okay, we're gonna clasp hands. Okay, what's your name? What's your name?
Audrey.
Audrey?
Yeah, let's see, I can try, okay?
Yes. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare thumb war. Oh my God, Audrey wins! Audrey wins! Oh my God! You had all those knives. You can do anything. Yeah, that's terrible. Oh my God! You win whatever you want from this fridge. Yeah, don't take any beer, though. How do you feel about Perrier? Oh, yeah, the Sprite's good. There you go. Audrey, you are so cute. It's ridiculous. Oh, my God. I feel really sorry for whoever has to follow you. All right, well, that was the 2015 PAX Thumb War. Worked out really well. Now we're going to kick it over to these guys. Hey!
Thank you, Joel.
That was awesome.
I don't know how we're going to follow that.
Yeah,
that was
that's a hard act to
the
follow.
cuteness was off the charts. But we're going to do the best we can to proceed. We're joined by Eric, who's a community strategist over at Naughty Dog.
Hey.
We're going to be talking about Uncharted Collection.
Yes.
Which I'm super excited about. I've been a huge Uncharted fan. Played every game in the series. Really looking forward to the next one, but really excited to come back and re-experience everything in the collection.
Yeah.
What does the collection contain specifically? Is this we're looking at Uncharted 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, so we actually went back to, we teamed up with a developer down in Austin called Blue Point Games, and they have done some amazing work on rebuilding other games. They worked on Journey and some other, really cool ports and things like that, and we went on down there, we had like all this code, and we're like, here you go, can you guys make this awesome and run on the PS4? And they've done a great job with it. It took a lot of work to get it up and running even on the PS4, but we have Uncharted 1, Drake's Fortune, Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, and then Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception, available in the collection.
Cool. Yeah, I think I've met some of those guys in Blue Point. They're really talented. They've done some great work in the past.
Great.
So essentially we're going to be bringing all of the Uncharted series up to par, up to the PlayStation 4. Is that going to include all of our single-player campaigns as well as multiplayer? We're going to experience all of that multiplayer all over again?
So the single-player components are all there. That's kind of our bread and butter. Naughty Dog's really good at doing narrative single-player games. So we wanted to bring those over, especially for new fans and the new generation that have never played Uncharted before. We realized a lot of new people have PS4s, maybe they used to own Xbox 360s, never played an Uncharted game. So, it's
kind of have all those great single-player moments, all those memorable things hanging from a cargo plane. But with multiplayer, we still have a really, really active and really, really positive community for even Uncharted 2 multiplayer. That's still going. And, you know, that game came out in 2009. And so, like, I get some Uncharted 2 videos every once in a while. I'll get Uncharted 3 videos still weekly. You know, people just their best, you know, freak their best matches and things like that. So we wanted to make sure that those communities stayed active and had a place to be instead of trying to bring them all to PS4. But what we decided to do instead was put Uncharted 4, our multiplayer beta, in with Collection. So if you get Collection, you can unlock the Uncharted 4 multiplayer beta.
That's cool.
Yeah.
One of the things I've always liked about the Uncharted series was how different I felt like every gun felt. I felt like combat was really well done because when you were in a fight, like you could tell what your enemies had based on sound. Every gun, even like the haptic feedback, felt a little different, you know, based on what kind of weapon you were using, you know, and the game also really incented you to get, you know, really visceral and to melee with all of your opponents, and I thought that was one of the best parts of the game. So it looks like Lawrence has Uncharted 2 up and running here.
Yeah, we got it. Oh, that was loud.
There we go. Ooh, you're gonna
So I'm really jealous that I found out you were the one sitting with the controller because I wanted to do the demo.
The crisp, higher frame rate, 1080p adventure.
Yes,
Wonderful.
it looks gorgeous. It's amazing because if you go back and look at the older Uncharted games, there'd be like buildings on rooftops, and you're like, that's a brown clock. Cool, you know what I mean? Like, because it was 2007, you couldn't tell what it was. And now we went back and we did all the textures, we mastered it. It's like, wow, that's a shed, and it's got a leaning slat on it, and you know, there's a plank somewhere. It's really cool to see all that.
When you went back, did you throw any more Easter eggs in there, or do you think that you were caught in the original game?
You know, we actually went back and played through all the original games, and we're like, all right, we left this huge sort of gap and bug there that we can now try and go fix, or we can see how we can get it to run on the PS4, because a lot of the times we used tricks back in the day where it was like light would be cast down and it would look like just like a sheet, but if you were at the right angle it looked like light, and you were like, cool, great. But now with the PS4 you're like, oh great, that's a sheet. So you got to go back in. They redid lighting, so there's dynamic lighting, the smoke effects, and just sort of a lot of the special effects. You can tell what's happening a lot more, like draw distance. So like those really great vistas you get in Uncharted, now they're like more scenic than they ever were before, which is great.
It's crazy to me to think that the game can look even better because at the time, I felt like the Uncharted series was a system seller for the PS3 platform because it was amazing how beautiful all of that looked. The graphics were so great, the draw distance was great. So like realizing that there were things you all were unhappy with that you're able to make look even better, like that sounds absolutely incredible to me.
And we took some of the, besides just the graphic stuff, we took some of the dynamic sound options that we had in The Last of Us. And so, I don't know if you remembered, if you go into the options on The Last of Us, you could adjust things like, if you had a 7.1 speaker setup, you could adjust like the angle where your sound was coming from.
Right.
So in Uncharted Collection, you'll be able to do the same thing. So that gun audio that you love is going to even be more visceral because you can tell where it's coming from and where, you know, it'll sound great.
You're gonna piss off your neighbors.
Good. No, they're gonna come over. They're gonna want to play also. They're gonna see what's going on. But I think it's really smart, especially with Uncharted 4 coming out so soon. Like you said, to bring a whole new generation of people who maybe hadn't played the game previously.
Yes.
This is a great way to get them introduced to the story, get them familiar with the characters, and really experience it all.
Yeah, we really wanted to make sure that, like, if you've never heard the Uncharted story, I mean, Nathan Drake's got a very rich backstory. If you were going to jump into Uncharted 4, you certainly could do that, but the best thing to do would be to play and realize, like, this life of a thief that he's undergone as he, was a young kid and then moved on from there, so.
This was one of my favorite action pieces from Uncharted 2. Running through the streets in Nepal, being chased. By the truck, and it looks great. So I assume everything now 1080p, very locked crisp frame rate, all those new bells and whistles to be able to do with the PS4.
Oh yeah, it's amazing to play this because like you remember playing it, and you know like for me especially personally, Uncharted 2 was one of my like watershed gaming moments. It's the only game I've ever platinumed. So it's one of those things where I go back and I play it now, and I was like, oh, this was a great joke, this was a great moment, and you can just get into it.
Does it feel a little surreal to you to go back and have everything be the same but different?
Yeah, it really does. Because you look at a lot of the things and you're like, all right, I love this area, and especially that scene where like you're walking through the Tibetan village and you can kick the soccer ball to the kids. You can pet the yak and that sort of thing, and you're like, wow, this is still really like the pacing and everything in the game is on point. To go back and see it like look even crisper is pretty awesome.
That's a great sequence. I remember thinking that I was at the end of the game, and then you wake up in that Nepalese village, and it's like, oh my god, this is awesome, it's still going.
You're like, I'm dead, and oh, we're still here.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just such a. Unfortunately, like it's running so well and it looks so good that I feel like people maybe won't appreciate how hard that should have been to do.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 3 was kind of a bear of a console. It had like 7 processors, and Uncharted 2 used all of them, and it was like an incredible game at the time. And to just take that and put it on an entirely separate console and make it run even better, something I can't wrap my head around.
Yeah.
I'm not paid to do it though. So.
Yeah, getting the code over, especially just like realizing you have, all right, we got this much more memory and we got all these things we can do is like, all right, this is awesome, but really daunting at the same time. But Bluepoint did an amazing job. They just created some really good tech for it, and it looks remarkable.
Those water effects where he jumped in the water a second ago, that looks awesome. That looks really good.
Yeah.
Showing off how much better it looks. And this is, here we're looking at the climbing sequence. This is I felt like one of the hallmarks of the series was how effective the use of color is in letting you know what objects you can interact with in the environment. So you look around, at first glance it looks like it's just a solid wall, there's nowhere to go. Then you realize, oh, well, maybe the drain pipe's yellow or blue. It's like, okay, well, that's standing out. Let me go see if I can interact with that. It's not like it totally stands out. It's like, it's what you're supposed to do. It's maybe kind of guiding you along, and I thought it was really smart.
It's a subtle thing, and too, like, you notice that we really like the color yellow for that sort of thing. It sort of like draws the eye. But we do actually a lot of research when we do our beta, and sort of like once we get further along enough in development where we bring people in and we're like, all right, so where are they not figuring out where to go? And we'll make a video and see players having a challenging time in one location, and then figure out how to sort of like breadcrumb it along. Push it in there.
No, that's a great way to put it, breadcrumbing it. It's not, there's no hand-holding. They kind of encourage that exploration and kind of looking around. And the game's so beautiful. I mean, that's what you want to do, especially here at these Nepal levels. I just wanted to stand on the rooftop and just stare off into the distance and see, what I could see in the city.
Yeah, and we certainly encourage that. I mean, it's pretty awesome to just sort of just chill. And that moment we had that I talked about earlier where you're in the village and just sort of like pacing yourself through it. I think that's one of the hallmarks of Naughty Dog games, is it has a really good understanding of narrative pacing and when it needs to pick up the action or slow it down and move faster or slower.
I noticed, so you talked a lot about how the tech has gotten better, the resolution, the frame rate. Have you guys felt the need to rework any of the actual gameplay of the levels? Because, man, Uncharted 1 near the end, God, mother of God, it gets real rough. So I didn't know if you went back to readjust maybe some of the difficulty curve, and you thought it was fine and just left it as it is. You made it harder just to fight people less.
So what we're doing is we actually added a new mode. It's called Brutal Mode, and
God.
right now
that's exactly what I wanted to hear.
So with Brutal Mode, essentially it's extremely difficult, and we're basically, all right, if our QA guy can't beat it or QA girl can't beat it, all right, we got to scale it back. So we're starting at that point, and then in the QA, they play it every day. So we're going for the people that know this the best. And so we've added that mode. If you're a huge Uncharted fan and you're just looking for the next challenge, you can dive into Brutal Mode. But we also added Explorer Mode, which is if you've never played Uncharted before, you can just sort of get into it. The enemy combat will be a little bit easier. It's just sort of like a more casual pace. So balance it out.
Both ways, it sounds like.
Yeah. So those are cool new modes. We also added a speedrun mode too, which is
like skips all cutscenes.
So it drops you sort of in a section, and then you're going to have a leaderboard with your friends, and you can see who gets the fastest time to get through a section. It's really, really fun.
Wow, that's cool. I've never been. I enjoy watching speedruns. I've never been one to try to attempt one myself. But I think if a game incorporates it like that, where you compete against your own friends, it's a good way to try it out.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see just people like trying to challenge each other with that and see where they push it. The other cool thing too is we have some of the multiplayer skins that players love. You know, Donut Drake, everybody. Like I hear Donut Drake all the time. Like, can I use that in single player? Yes, now you can. If you want to play, if you want to play as Donut Drake from Uncharted 1 through every single game, you can totally do that.
Oh my God.
It's going to be really cool to see these, like, you know, games like Uncharted 3. I've never seen Donut Drake in the single player, so it's going to be great.
Cool. Is there what's the release date? When are you all scheduled to ship that?
October 9th this year.
October 9th.
So pretty soon.
It's coming out really soon.
Yeah, excited. It's really exciting.
Yeah, I'm, like I said, I got a PS3 for the Uncharted series. I think, yeah, it's an amazing series. Some of my favorite games, you know, I always look forward to the new ones, and it's going to be really awesome to go back and re-experience it all. The game looks absolutely amazing. I can't believe you talked about the game shipping, you know, in 2009, Uncharted 2 shipping in 2009. It doesn't seem like it's been 6 years.
No, it's crazy. I mean, like, just thinking about that and, like, how far we've gone and what we can do now. I mean, like I said, seeing those buildings come to life and the lighting come to life and this new gameplay, it's going to be a great experience. I'm really excited for people who haven't played this series to jump in and try it out.
Yeah, I think you'll probably get a few people doing that ahead of the next game.
Well, how long would it take to play from 1 all the way through 3 in brutal mode, for example?
Oh man,
like how many hours am I sitting doing that?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's some people I've seen, you know, like if you're really good at the game, like extremely good at the game, and you skip the cutscenes, of course, because you know. Uncharted 4 is going to be the first time we do real-time cutscenes.
Oh, okay.
We used to actually have cinematic models and then gameplay models. For Collection, we were actually able to take those cinematic models from PS3 and they became the gameplay models.
Wow.
So that's why the characters look so much more detailed and high res and that sort of thing. But with playing it through, if you skip the cutscenes, you can, if you're great, if you're like the best.
Not me.
You can probably get through all of it in maybe 25 hours, all 3 of those games. And that's skipping cutscenes.
Yeah.
So Brutal's going to be a challenge for everybody.
Is it possible to do a brutal speedrun mode?
I would love to see it. I can't wait. I don't know.
Jack, I think we have a mission for you.
Oh my God. It's going to be the longest, like, first section of the first game ever. It's like 4 hours right there getting annihilated. I'll give it a shot, though.
Why not? Challenge. I'd love to see it. Let's see it happen.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not the best gamer in the world. You know, I'm not the best. I don't have the most skills, but this is the kind of game I would want. I would welcome it to kick my ass repeatedly, and I think I would enjoy that.
That's the sweetest thing ever.
But it's just like the gameplay is so fun. I mean, I can totally see myself doing that, and just like wanting to beat it, wanting to best it, and try to get through it. So, are there any other So when you port the game from the PS3 to the PS4, are there any new things you can add? Like, I know the PS4 controller's a little different. Is there anything like integrating with the touchpad on it?
Yeah, so we've thought about some of those features, and there's a few little, I don't want to spoil too much, but there's some few little tweaks we put in there, how Drake's journals works and things like that. But just the cool feedback effects and then some of the controller sounds and things like that. But you know, the biggest thing was just having that memory to load all this extra stuff and make the game the most seamless experience as possible. So I'm just excited to see people basically play the ultimate version of these single player narratives.
Yeah. Is there so you mentioned people playing controller sounds, you'll hear feedback the cling of an empty clip or things like that. You'll be able to hear
little different things through the controller audio. There'll be things like that, and the touchpad you can use for journal and things like that.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about the game. It's just I'm such a fanboy. There's very few games I feel like I've worked in video games for so long. I've grown kind of jaded about the whole thing, but it's rare to find a game or a series that I seriously geek out over, and Uncharted is definitely one of those series.
So as far as the single player leaderboards go, what all is that track? Because I mean, I love that kind of stuff. I love the leaderboard effect that makes a single player game into a multiplayer game, and you're competing with your buddies. I love games like that. So what sort of stuff is being tracked?
The main thing is the speed runs. So the time you get to the section, it'll have a few details about how you downed enemies and things like that. But they're still trying to figure out like what the most pertinent information is. But the biggest challenge is going to be is like, all right, I can get through this section this quickly. I am that good at cheating, you know, like the running away from the tank in the war zone or that sort of thing. So it's going to be, you know, we wanted to keep it as simple, but also just sort of like addictive that people can go back to it over and over again.
It's going to be something where you can replay a section just immediately after you go?
Yeah, you can basically go into the mode, you can pop open that section, play it, you do okay on your time, you can just try it again.
Cool.
See how you do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see it at awesome games done quickly now. Maybe you'll get into the speedrun circuit now that there's a mode dedicated to it. I think that's a really great idea. You know, speedrunning is such a big thing right now. There's such a huge movement about it. I had never thought about a speedrun mode until you brought it up right now. And I thought, and now I'm thinking, well, why doesn't every game have that?
Yeah, I mean, like, it came out of thinking about how the co-op multiplayer works in Uncharted a lot. And there was a lot of that going on. And, you know, like, we had some sort of competition with some of it. And then we were like, all right, this will apply to our single player in a good way, and it just made sense, so put it in there.
Yeah, it's great. I'm always curious to see like what the next new mode is. You know, Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3 also had like a theater mode. You go back and rewatch films, and that's huge, and that was a great functionality. And I feel like, you know, this could be like the next big thing like that, where every game's going to want to have a feature like that.
Yeah, and we added the other thing we added, which was really cool. We added photo mode. So from The Last of Us, we saw all this great. I mean, there was an amazing Last of Us cinematic thing that came out. Grant, I forgot his last name. It starts with a V, but we actually ended up. He, you know, sent us these videos and we posted them, and it's like this epic sort of cinematic movie he made using our photo mode. And so we added this to Uncharted now, and we're like, all right, we got this really great game, really pretty game. So I'm just super stoked to see what people end up coming up with that too.
Using a video game to make a movie.
Using a still camera in a video game to make a movie. Revolutionary. But yeah, I saw that video you're talking about. That was really, really amazing work that the guy did.
Yeah, he actually applied for a job at Naughty Dog. He now works in our QA department.
Wow.
Cool.
Random, yeah.
All right, well, we're at time to wrap up. So thanks for joining us, Eric. And Just as a reminder, Uncharted Collection comes out October 9th on the PS4. If you've never played an Uncharted game, you've got to play them. Even if you have played them, like me, this is the perfect opportunity to go back and refresh on the story and be ready for the next adventure. All right, looks like we can go over to the side stage. Looks like we have Joel over there.
Yes. Hello. Hi. Wait for it. We're going. There we go. I'm here with Alan Joyce, the project manager for the YouTube game which just launched.
Yes, indeed. Hey, Joel.
Congratulations. Big week for y'all.
Thank you. No, it's been super fun.
So you went live on Wednesday, correct?
Yep. Yeah, went live Wednesday morning.
And how's it been so far? Tell me about the app first of all, and tell me how it's been going.
Cool. Yeah, it's been really awesome. It's been a couple days of people starting to use it and us getting feedback and hearing people think. It's been really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have been in the streaming beta for a little bit, but on Wednesday we streamed for about an hour, and we were streaming absolute garbage games, and we still had 11,800 people watching us, which was a huge jump from where we usually are. I'm really excited to be playing with the app finally, now that it's out in public.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we've got a quick video actually, if people want to see what the app is.
Can we check that out real quick?
Maybe we don't.
Is the video there? Do we have? All right, now. All right, so
that was a good video. I really like that.
It was mainly me singing. It cost $2 billion to produce.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And weird how they like stitched it in exactly into our cadence here.
They knew. It's Google. They know everything. So tell me about the app. Like, what does it do, and how does it work?
So okay, we've done a couple things. So one is we created 25,000 of what we call game pages for as many games as we know about, right? So we went and found so I'm a big fan of Dota 2. We looked across YouTube and found all of the videos we could find that have to do with Dota 2. We put them together into one page, and we made that ideally the place you can go and find everything you could want around Dota 2 on YouTube. So we've done that. We went and created all these game pages. We also tried to make live streaming a really key part of the app, right? And make it a really great experience to watch live streams on YouTube and to find live streams on YouTube.
Yeah. And now I think we actually have the video.
Hey, video! Can't wait.
awesome. I love seeing